I'm going to tell you something right now. You are officially an astronaut.
Thank you so much.
How do you feel?
I feel super connected to love. You never know how much love is inside of you until the day you launch.
I do this for me and God. I do this as a release. I do this as a spiritual growth, actually.
My hosting tip number 1 is show some skin.
I'm ready to go!
Come here, buddy.
Come here.
Come here right now.
Oh! This is stupid!
Her tour is flopping. Overall, it just seems like she's totally phoning it in.
Katy, obviously you want to keep it private like private.
Quiet open, why don't you?
Well, no, I'm married to Russell Brand.
I'm living like this life, the very thing that I detest. Vapid, vacuous celebrity.
And I love the outcasts. I'm one of the outcasts, actually.
She definitely demands.
Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom have broken up after 9 years together.
She's been spotted out with former Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
Sending women into a spaceship for what? So they can, do their makeup? What the
So out of touch.
If you are representing me, speak from a place of kindness, love, do unto others.
Now to a tragic turn on the feud between pop star Katy Perry and a group of nuns.
In this legal battle between pop star Katy Perry and founder and entrepreneur of 1-800-Flowers.
She's struggling to sell tickets to her show. Dr. Luke gave her booze and drugs as a teen, then forced himself on her.
A lot of people have expressed disappointment that you decided to involve Dr. Luke.
When I speak about Woman's World, he was one of the people to help facilitate all that.
I felt as if I had lost the rights to myself.
I think behind every great woman is a great man.
1, 2, 3, take up space!
Katy Perry has spent over 15 years in the spotlight as one of pop music's most recognizable and increasingly controversial figures. From her breakout as a candy-coated, cartoonish hitmaker, to her evolution into an American Idol judge, to a precariously cringe astronaut and a litigious real estate investor.
Katy! The pop star also kissed the ground.
She's celebrated for her massive success in the music industry.
Thank you, I did that all on my first day of my period too, can you believe it?
While also criticized for cultural insensitivity. And her awkward attempts at activism.
What is the history behind wearing the hair that way?
She's even been accused of SA, harassment, and queer baiting. She is a very busy woman.
So you like it? You do kiss a girl and you like it.
I mean, I think that girls are beautiful creatures.
And most recently, apart from the incredibly out-of-touch space rocket adventure and becoming besties with Jeff Bezos, a man worth an embarrassingly low $238 billion, my gosh, man, get a damn job or something, or I don't know, pay your workers a livable wage, Katy risked a huge blow to her reputation by reuniting with a notorious and allegedly predatory music producer at the expense of recording artist Kesha and his other alleged victims, all while preaching about women empowerment.
You decided to involve Dr. Luke on this album. Why did you choose to work with him?
Look, I understand that it started a lot of conversations.
And then there's the lawsuits, where a nun literally died in court battling her, the Justin Trudeau of it all, and her current $6 million lawsuit, where she's suing a disabled elderly 85-year-old man who is battling Huntington's disease over another property dispute. That's happening literally as I speak. Like I said, she's a very busy woman.
I wasn't ever good at math. I was always promised no math. There will be no math on this show. So
maybe by the end you'll be good at it.
I know. And then, is math related to science?
Millions of people love Katy Perry. Millions of people hate Katy Perry. But amidst all the criticism and claims that Katy Perry's career is in a rapid downfall, to be fair, when we flip the perspective coin and look at the other side of the debate, we have to ask, has the public been too harsh on her?
'Cause when I'm with him, I am thinking of you.
Now, let me be clear, this isn't a thoughtless indictment on Katy Hudson, but a deep analysis of the Katy Perry brand that has become so synonymous with the person. This isn't about echo chamber dogpiling the way many are doing online, but laying out some of what's transpired in her life and her career while presenting nuanced perspectives and research that goes deeper than a trending one-sided opinion. Like many celebrities, Katy has involved herself in philanthropic endeavors, been awarded for her work advocating for vulnerable communities, 20s and even founded a charity of her own. Could these philanthropic moves all be performative and strategic distractions from what many in the public consider her increasingly problematic and callous behavior? I mean, she literally has essay allegations surrounding her. Or are her actions somehow simply misunderstood, well-meaning intentions that are being overshadowed by a selective outrage culture determined to tear celebrities down, especially once a woman reaches a certain age? That's what she'd like you to think.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on here.
I think she feels depressed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not meant to make you upset.
She may be candy-coated and bright-colored, but today we're going on a very deep dive into the dark world of the empire of Katy Perry. Today we're gonna peel back the layers of not just Katy Perry's successes or controversies, but look into the intricate details often overlooked regarding how the machine of the Katy Perry brand moves from profit-driven accomplishments to near career-ending crisis in a never-ending loop of controversies.
And it's hard because I'm ashamed.
Oh.
Because of course Katy Perry's so strong.
I'm talking to Catherine, she's sitting back.
So let's finally answer the unanswered question. Is the backlash against Katy Perry decades in the making, or is she another victim of the unwinnable game of fame? Or can it be both? Is the downfall of Katy Perry's career reality, or just an illusion? And this is what we know. Oh, hi there. Hello, hello, hi. It's my face again, Swoop. If you're seeing me for the first time, welcome. My name is Swoop and I'm a documentary filmmaker, commentary creator, and I make what we call Swoop docs on complex stories, true crime, and social media influencers who abuse their power and manipulate audiences because, as I always say, it's not drama, it's dangerous. We are the community of critical thinkers where we break down selective outrage and also do something a little rare these days. Okay, let's be real. We present different perspectives, play devil's advocate, and sometimes, depending on my mood, we take it to Petty University and have a giggle because the world's on fire right now. A touch about me: I'm a woman, a survivor, a chronic pain fighter, and my hope with how we present these stories is that we break echo chambers and bring some humanity back for sake. I'll dig through some of what's dissected online, but our focus is in the detours, the sidebars, where we peel back the layers that few people are looking under to present more nuance and walk away learning something new about society or ourselves. Hopefully, okay? That's the plan. That's what we're going for here. If you're into that, go ahead and hit subscribe, honey. We're on the road to 1 million critical thinkers. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I can't believe that we are on this road together. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And I just have to say, so many of you come back week after week and watch these docs every single week, but you aren't subscribed, even though you might think that you are, but you're not. So if you would like to support me in the work that we do here, please go ahead and hit subscribe. That's the easiest way to do it, and it means so much to me. Also, just really quick, I want to say a big thank you to all of you and your unbelievably sweet and kind and beautiful messages that you left me on the last Swoop Talk, the JoJo Siwa. I shared about being a hospice caregiver, and so many of you just sent the sweetest, kindest messages, and I just want you to know that I'm so thankful for each and every one of you here. You're very understanding the times, you know, when I have to be away, so thank you for that. Also, of course, I have a second channel called Swoop 2, where we take mini dips into whatever the hell I want to talk about. Here we deep dive, there we dip. And you can also join our Patreon community for exclusive access to 4 more videos per month. Yes, you heard me right. 4 more exclusive, uncensored, unfiltered videos per month, plus the entire back catalog of videos only available on Patreon. Okay, we're gonna dive in, but real quick, since we're gonna be talking all things women's world and women's empowerment today, and we're all grown folks here, I've got a slightly spicy question. When was the last time you treated yourself? And no, I'm not just talking about bubble baths. Y'all, I am so excited for today's sponsor, Bellesa. Yes, friends, I am teaming up with Bellesa for a huge toy giveaway, and everyone who signs up with my link below wins a free rose suction toy with your order. Honey, in this house, we love getting free gifts, especially Bellesa gifts. Bellesa is a by women company for all things women's personal wellness. And what I love most about Bellesa, I mean, you know, besides their products, obviously, is that Bellesa's mission is all about empowering you to embrace, explore, and celebrate you on your terms and feel amazing, okay? No stigmas attached here, honey. Now to the good stuff. Can we just talk about how cute this is? Look how cute. Like, this is the most beautiful toy that I have, like, ever seen. I did not even know that they could possibly come this cute, and she is a viral TikTok legend for a reason. She's adorable, discreet, is made from 100% body-safe silicone, fits perfectly in the palm of your hand, and has 10 different modes, okay? The audacity. She gives a whole new meaning to 1960s flower power, you know what I'm saying? Like, you won't even care that it didn't take you to dinner first, okay? You might even send it a thank you card after. They also have other fun toys like the Pebble, which has independent suction and vibration and is designed to fit perfectly in your hand and doesn't have any of those annoying pattern modes that like literally nobody wants. Like, who asked for these? We don't want these. And it also comes in this super discreet case, okay? You could literally just like, it could just be out there and like nobody has to know, okay? But you know, but they don't know, you know what I mean? They've also got the fan favorite Air Vibe, and just like the Pebble, it's waterproof, rechargeable, and whisper quiet, but highly effective. And again, like, look how discreet these cases are, okay? Like, you literally could not ask for anything better instead of just like, you know, usually you're having to keep it in like the packaging of the box and it's like, blah, blah, blah. And the Thump is truly the toy that does it all. It vibrates, it suctions, it thumps, waterproof, and yes, again, very discreet. And I should note that the same goes for the packaging and the shipping, okay? They arrive in a plain box so you can feel safe and secure with every order. And honestly, I just have to say this for me, Bellesa has been one of the kindest companies that I've ever partnered with. They've been incredibly flexible with my schedule while I was away. And y'all, we love women-led companies here. I'm telling you, friends, do not miss this huge giveaway. Tap my link in the description and everyone who signs up wins a free rose suction toy with your order. Yes, friends, that's right, you're gonna love it. Every one of you who signs up wins a free, beautiful rose toy with your order, so tap the link below and treat yourself, honey. You deserve it. Okay, back to the doc.
I'm a pretty bold person when it comes to my faith, and don't really care what other people think about me or what views they have. I don't want to like offend people, but I think honestly, people would love for somebody to, you know, rip the nice pretty bow off of Christianity and just tell it like it is. I just want to be like, you know, this is my God, and please do what you can, receive salvation, and it's all about, you know, furthering the kingdom.
She's been called the Queen of Camp by Vogue, a living icon by fans, out of touch by her former fans, and a step backwards by many feminist circles. But before there was Katy Perry, there was Katy Hudson. A talented singer-songwriter with a powerful voice, Katy was born to a pair of conservative Pentecostal Christian preachers and raised in Santa Barbara, so, you know, a legitimate California girl.
I mean, my aunt was a topless showgirl, but then she transitioned into a preacher.
Okay.
So she was like a tent revivalist.
More versatility.
Yes. You know, she went from topless to Jesus.
Yeah.
And that's how my parents met. They actually met in Vegas. My dad was like kind of a preacher as well, and my mom was a reporter, and my mom was doing a piece on these like charismatic preachers.
Katy's early music was a product of her upbringing, what she called the Jesus train.
I do this for me and God. I do this as a release. I do this as a spiritual growth, actually. I think unique communication that I can really connect with God, even in my room or on the stage. And
being a Christian wasn't just part of her life. Often at the insistence of her parents, it was every part of her life.
I never like was able to watch MTV, or I didn't really know who Madonna was. And I couldn't eat Lucky Charms because it was too closely associated to Lucifer, which is the devil's name. Can't call it deviled eggs, have to call it angel eggs. Can't even call it the dirt devil vacuum, have to call it the angel vacuum.
Listen, y'all, okay, I'm not here to shame religion, okay, but I know a thing or two about the pain and confusion of deeply ingrained religious trauma, and I'm pretty sure angeled eggs is on that list.
sometimes I think some of my songs can be like little folk country songs.
Well. At 16, Katy released her first gospel album and has shared how she felt a lot of pressure to conform to her religious roots while she was young. And while I could spend literally an entire Swoop doc diving through Katy's faith journey and the likely trauma that resulted from that, I'll sum it up like this. The girl changed, okay? She changed a lot.
I wasn't really allowed to listen to anything besides gospel music, so I would sneak in different CDs, and one time, the first time I bought a record, it was an Incubus record, and it was a Part of Me Incubus record, and I brought it home in my knapsack, and I had all the things on top of it so my parents didn't like strip search me, and I put my little blanket underneath the door crack and tried to pop open the CD from the holder, and it broke in two like the 10 Commandments.
Wow. Wow. Well, that's...
And I was like, I'll never do that again.
Wow.
Got to, I'm here.
Katy Perry's candy-coated metamorphosis was such a monumental split from her sheltered upbringing that she got to the point where she had to reconcile with a very tough question.
My parents, you know, I love them so much, and like at their core, generally, they are just incredible, beautiful people. But in my 20s, I had to decide, do I disagree? Do I agree to disagree? Or do I just not have parents?
Christian music is great, and they have their own ministry, but I'm looking for like a different kind of person, you know, basically just teenagers. And I love the outcasts. I'm one of the outcasts, actually.
Now, before Katy's spinning peppermint titties era, she went from gospel girl to bad girl, venturing into her Avril Lavigne punk spiky short hair era.
I wish it could be Wesley Willis. My words would flow like honey.
But things really took off for Katy when she ditched the Bushwick coffeehouse vibe for the identity of a budding charged pop star diva with what was considered very risque music at the time. Now, y'all know, I can't play this shit because labels would have their foot up my booty cheeks, just all up in the crevices. But just imagine Katy singing, you know, I can't even sing it. I kissed a girl and I liked it. Ooh, ooh, baby, baby, baby. But you know, like many, honestly, mostly just women, Katy soon found out that you can't be risque without a little risk. This career-defining rebrand out the gate walked us right into Katy Perry's first controversy. You know, every pop star has one, or in this case, maybe a long list of them, long enough to fill a 3-part Swoop doc series, but we're just gonna start with one.
You better be ready to get your socks.
I Kissed a Girl was released back in 2008. Can you imagine? Like, that's when Obama became president. That's the housing market was in the dumpster, which arguably, I mean, has it changed, honey? And Lady Gaga, I mean, bless her, she tried to save our souls by dropping her iconic anthem, Poker Face. Do we think dramatic pivots are a recession indicator? Where's my girl, JoJo Siwa? I was a bad girl. Okay, never mind. I Kissed a Girl was Katy's breakout single, but from the start, the critiques of queer baiting were swarming. A 2008 review from Josh Tarangel in Time magazine called the pop hit, quote, a trivialization of lesbianism. He also mentions Katy's other single called You're So Gay, with the opening lyrics, quote, I hope you hang yourself with your H&M scarf. Holy y'all, okay. I just gotta say, like, I never really listened to Katy Perry. I'm not saying that is shade at all. I think her music is great for people who love it. Great, I love that for you. I'm just literally saying that I listen to other stuff. Like, I'm more of like a Nothing But Thieves, a Primus, a Sam Cooke kind of lady. So reading some of these Katy Perry lyrics now is just actually kind of wild. Also, I just have to point out, do you guys like my kitty print? Okay, I thought Katy cat, kitty. Okay, we're gonna do it. We're committing to the role here today. But Katy isn't the only 2000s pop star who's been called out over what some consider to be problematic lyrics.
Realize you love yourself more than you could ever love me. So go and tell your friends that I'm obsessive and crazy, then I'll tell mine you're gay.
This isn't the last we'll be hearing about Ms. Taylor Swift in this Swoop doc, obviously. In many respects, the release of I Kissed a Girl, which sold over 4.8 million units in the US alone, this was the moment where the human Katy Hudson was no longer a person and became a product.
What do jazz chicks look like?
Sophisticated.
Sophisticated?
Yeah.
Me?
Smart.
Smart? Well, too bad I'm in the 9th grade for the 2nd year. I'm especially skilled in other places.
Katy Hudson turned from that into a well-oiled machine, greased up by producers who handcrafted her into the new glossy Katy Perry. And the machine was just getting started with a controversy: queer baiting.
I'm either gonna go completely mental, completely bankrupt, or have the best success of my life.
So let's have a point and counterpoint. These are moments that we do in the Swoop docs. We'll have some perspective here. We're gonna play devil's advocate. So on one hand, to many people, beneath the bubblegum pop branding of her breakout record, she's singing about an honest part of her identity that resonated with millions, right? So point, shouldn't that be a good thing? But counterpoint, this is where the facade of authenticity and the marketing mask starts to slip for some. A mask that places the manufacturing of a meticulously crafted image, bought and paid for by high-powered record labels above maintaining what people thought was honest.
But definitely when I wrote I Kissed a Girl, it wasn't like I called my parents and was like, guys, guess what this song I wrote? And I was like, okay, well, my parents are gonna find out. I don't live under their roof anymore and they don't pay my rent. So I asked my older sister, I was like, maybe you want to give them the heads up so they don't like have a heart attack in the car as they're driving home. Even though it was very challenging for them, I still push and they still pray.
And now they're thankful you kissed a girl, probably.
Honestly, if it came down to it, yes.
In many people's opinions, she abandoned being genuine for $1. But practically every celebrity you love has had to surrender to the suits in the boardroom who make the majority of the decisions, and most often those decisions are made by men. Wear this, say that, kiss up to this person, date that person. Yes, they do still do that. And honestly, that's just why so much of it becomes formulaic, manufactured bullshit, and why independent artists who push back often get shelved.
What do you want them thinking about? What do you want on the forefront of their minds for the next couple days?
I just want them to see something genuine,
Another point, can it still be considered queer baiting if the person who co-wrote it was discovering their identity at the time, but maybe doesn't operate the way others want them to? It's kind of giving gatekeeping around JoJo Siwa. Or another point, perhaps this was part of Katy's religious trauma response, kind of a way to rebel. But counterpoint, again, perhaps I Kissed a Girl is nothing more than a finely tuned $1 million marketing bullshit. Earn a profit for the man upstairs, and no, I don't mean God, I mean allegedly predatory producer who we're going to discuss in a moment.
And everyone thinks I'm like superstar and rock star. But that's not how I am at all. I'm just some little kid from California who plays the guitar and I write what I think needs to be written. I write what I want to say to people that I can't say through my mouth, I guess.
But first, did you know that I Kissed a Girl actually came out on her second album after her song You're So Gay, where she played into stigmatizing tropes and harmful stereotypes about the gay community and, the whole hang with the scarf bit? Here's a lyric. You're so gay and you don't even like boys. Charming.
The guy liner and use the flat irons and wear my jeans. I want to wear my jeans, don't wear my jeans. Or spend more time in the mirror than their girlfriends do. And I wrote it after being dumped. It was one of those relationships that the dumpage lasted longer than the actual relationship. Finally, it was the last straw, kicking me out of the apartment, not coming back, and I went back to my house and I had this verse that I'd been kind of developing in my head and I played it to her. I don't know what to say in the chorus. He's just so gay. And she's like, say that. And I'm like, okay, I'll say that.
Now, don't worry, it gets even weirder. Like in this now defunct 2008 interview that Katy did with The New Gay, that's the name, where I had to scrub so deep into the lost archives to even find it because yes, I am a thorough bitch. Quote, The New Gay, Zach says, I write for a gay blog and I thought you should know that You're So Gay pissed off a lot of our readers. I love this energy. What do you mean you just came straight out the gate and your very first introduction is here's who I am, here's who I write for, you pissed everyone off, what say ye? Great. So Katy responds, that's unfortunate. That's not what I came to do. You can hear it from the horse's mouth. Don't worry, it gets better. From Katy, quote, it's not a negative connotation. It's not you're so gay, you're so lame, but the fact of the matter is that this boy should have been gay. I totally understand how it could be misconstrued or whatever. I mean, it's literally an angst breakup song where you're pissed at your ex, so I'm pretty sure it's a negative connotation. But fiddly-dee! And remarkably, Katy goes on to describe herself as Anne Frank. Quote, all these songs are very personal. They're straight out of a Dear Diary situation, but my Anne Frank is now being exposed to the world. Yeah, just a reminder, Anne Frank was a young Jewish girl who kept a diary while hiding from the concentration camps in the 1940s, only to be captured, separated from her parents, and tortured, dying with her sister at just 15 years old. So, you know, totally just like Katy Perry complaining about an ex or whatever. Somehow, this interview gets even worse. I just, quote, TNG, so the new gay. But your song implies an insult. It basically says that the guy in question is less manly for being gay, that he's wimpy, like in the video, the Ken doll that portrays him as having no crotch. Katy, I know gay men that are more of a man than some of the men I slept with. If it came across like that, I didn't mean it. What in the bloody okay, Katy, just abandon ship, okay? You've lost the plot. You've lost the plot. It's okay to just say I've lost the plot and then move on. And it gets even worse, and in my opinion shows the many cracks in the authenticity of at least the Katy Perry brand. Quote, new gay. Have you heard from the guy you wrote it about? Katy. He's heard it. I think he's okay. We're friends. It was a snapshot of an emotion and whatever I was feeling. I'm over it. I've moved on in life. Now I'm on to kissing girls. New gay. I saw. Are you a lesbian now? Katy. I love my men. I'm not a lesbian, but I can appreciate the beauty of women. That's what the song is about. Me opening up a magazine and seeing Scarlett Johansson and saying if she wanted to kiss me, I wouldn't say no. New gay. Have you ever actually kissed a girl? Katy, I think I will. I'm holding out for Megan Fox. New gay. So you haven't actually kissed a girl? Then this whole song is a fantasy? Katy, yeah, it's a fantasy. It's a song about curiosity. I hate it here. But let's be realistic. Everyone is entitled to their journey no matter what lawmakers are trying to say, and people are allowed to create art without censorship. So she goes from releasing You're So Gay, projecting, I believe, the idea of gay, you know, being very gross, to a song about girls kissing, which is super hot, right? Even though she had never actually kissed a girl and it's just a fantasy, right? Gee, I wonder, who do you think that fantasy was selling to at the time? Other women? The queer community? Or maybe straight men? After all, the album is titled One of the Boys. So if we look even deeper, who actually came up with the concept for the fantasy? I mean, the song. I'm gonna start with a little history. Singer-songwriter Jill Sabuli originally recorded a song titled I Kissed a Girl in 1995, and Jill was, in fact, a queer trailblazer. May she rest in peace.
Speaking of I Kissed a Girl, you know, you are sort of the original person to tackle themes like that in pop culture with that song in the 90s. How do you feel like those themes are being handled now?
When I did it in 1995, and I actually wanted to figure out how to do a song that I wished would have been written when I was a little girl. But somehow, you know, you had to do it with a little humor and a little fun. And I didn't believe that the label was like, this is gonna be our single. But they had a different agenda a little bit than I did. I remember in the video, they wanted me to have the pregnancy. They put a tag at the end where I go back to Fabio, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Whereas I just wanted to, you know, I wanted to go to, you know, have a makeout.
Right.
With Jenny, listening to the publicity person there over the phone going, oh, this has nothing to do with anything gay, this song.
Wow.
Yeah, but I think
that's the whole point of the song.
Jill spoke about the direction the record label pushed on her song and music video, which was unsurprisingly anti-queer and meant to feel like a joke, you know, kind of a meaningless moment in a very hetero journey, much like Katy Perry's lyrics. Quote, I kissed a girl just to try it, hope my boyfriend don't mind it. Ain't no big deal. It's innocent.
I mean, when Kiss the Girl came out, there were Southern stations that wouldn't play it. There was one station in Nashville that had a disclaimer, if you have children. Across to bear for, I mean, it was positive and negative. I was so glad I had that song. I wanted that out there. On the other hand, the label, like I said, didn't know what to do with it, so they let's put it in novelty land as opposed to, here's an empowering queer song.
So as we discuss the authenticity of the Katy Perry brand, the question remains, who is behind the song and who is the fantasy for? Well, did you know that one of the main writers for Kissed a Girl was Dr. Luke, a man who is quite litigious, so I will refer to him sometimes as, I don't know, Mr. Nurse or Mr. Producer. Mr. Nurse. Mr. Nurse is also a man who has been accused of horrific SA by Kesha. Now, we'll get into more of that later, but Kesha alleges that in 2005, when she was around 18 and he was 32, she was drugged and R-worded by him multiple times, and states that physical, emotional, and verbal harm continued for 10 years. And I say allegedly because I have to. And did you know that Mr. Nurse, who co-wrote and produced this Katy Perry song about a girl fantasy, did you know that he also cast Kesha in the music video? So he cast his alleged victim wearing nothing but lingerie and lip gloss, performing in bed to a song he wrote pushing a fantasy about young women. But, you know, ain't no big deal. It's innocent, right? Listen, the thing is, I completely understand why some would feel like the song was queerbaiting. You know, aura farming a vulnerable community that deserves protection for profit with potentially no regard for how that can stigmatize the real people living every day in fear is a complex issue. It's why I work so damn hard to try to present multiple perspectives. And honestly, like, listen, I also have experience in the music industry, and let me tell you, it's wonderful, and it's also the most abusive industry imaginable. Like, you don't know unless you've lived it, period. So given what we've learned about Kesha's horrific experience, I have to be fair and ask, is it possible that Katy has also been through some terrible experience? Could she have also gone through harm at the hands of an executive, maybe even him, allegedly, and just not shared about it? I mean, she survived literally a marriage with Russell Brand, a man facing heavy accusations from many women literally right now.
In the Daily News today, they're saying that Russell hooked up with other girls while you've been away. That's today, as of like 16 hours ago, I read it.
That was a profoundly up random accusation for a music interviewer to just casually throw on her while, you know, the camera's rolling, but whatever. At least it didn't get any more uncomfortable.
OPI, the gel manicure, I read that you love.
Yes, I do. You're just like, you are kind of a stalker.
Kind of, you did a little article in Lucky Magazine and that was kind of in it. So I'm just re-quoting. So there. Okay, so it's Katy Perry, everybody.
Hi.
Anyways, so I've shared before that I'm a musician and recording artist, and I have been through a lot of with labels, managers, agents, and I'm just like a blip compared to Katy Perry. Like, it's like the industry is not for the faint of heart, and I think that 99% of people on this planet who have never been in the music business, who talk about artists, have literally no clue about what it's actually like in the industry. Like I, you know, when I see these keyboard warriors, I'm just like, do you know what it's like to go to work every day and get physically assaulted, sexually harassed, demeaned, told, hey baby, come sit on my lap, just so that you could play them your record, and had your paycheck threatened routinely? Because I have, all while you shove it down, say nothing, and get on a stage and smile and perform your ass off in front of thousands to make everyone else happy and stay relevant. And that's on a good day.
You have a lot on your mind right now. You have two options. You can cancel the show, or you can do your best.
But I digress. Now, the conversation around this song gets even more unsettling because in 2017, Miss Katy Perry received an award from the Human Rights Campaign, where she gave a very interesting acceptance speech. She doesn't acknowledge that in 2008, she had very clearly said that she had not ever kissed a girl. Instead, she says this.
I speak my truths and I paint my fantasies into these little bite-sized pop songs. For instance, I kissed a girl and I liked it. Truth be told, A, I did more than that. But B, how was I gonna reconcile that with a gospel-singing girl raised in youth groups that were pro-conversion camps? So, most of my unconscious adolescence, I prayed the gay away at my Jesus camps.
So, where's the truth? Was Katy actually hiding her experience in that 2008 interview, which she's allowed to do? Or is she full of Was this just another well-timed marketing ploy to make millions off of a vulnerable community that also satisfied a Mr. Nurse fantasy and later accept an award for doing so?
But then in the middle of it all, in a twist of events, I found my gift. And my gift introduced me to people outside my bubble. And my bubble started to burst. These people were nothing like I had been taught to fear. They were the most free, strong, kind, and inclusive people I have ever met.
What about when she makes posts like this? Quote, "They say I do it for the male gaze, but the truth is I do it for the male gays. G-A-Y-S-S-S-S-S-S-S-S-S-S." Now, ironically, Katy, both of these still center around men. So, just make sure you don't have any H&M scarves in your closet, people. So back to the point and counterpoint of it all. If Katy's an ally, and I think that she is on many levels, does the controversy surrounding her older lyrics matter now if her music has positively impacted some or a large portion of the LGBTQ community? It's a complex issue without a simple answer, and I think everyone's gonna have their own take on it. I find her lyrics in those old songs to be very problematic, and very clearly many in the community did at the time, because they literally told her it while it was out there. But thousands have said that the song inspired them to come out. And I'm not going to ignore that, or that some of the discourse has encouraged by erasure, which is a whole other problem. Now, Katy Perry does have a track record of being outspoken, like this interview with Parade from 2012. Quote, "I came from a different mindset growing up, and my mind has changed. My viewpoint on all these things, equality for women, the choice to love anyone you want. Hopefully, we will look back at this moment and think like we do now concerning civil rights issues. We just shake our heads in disbelief, saying, thank God we've evolved. That would be my prayer for the future." And I think, that is likely an honest statement there. She had thoughts that were on this end of it that were harmful, likely because of the way she was raised in that very strict religious household. She's learned more, and her thoughts and opinions have evolved, and we should allow people to be able to do that, right? Just because you have an opinion about something one day doesn't mean you're not allowed to ever change it. I don't know why people act like you're never allowed to change your opinion, okay? Opinions can change. We all do it. I have changed my opinion on several things over the years.
People always ask me, what is it that you regret? And I say nothing, because I could not buy what I've learned.
And while, yes, Katy made those comments in her acceptance speech, but hasn't, fully come out with a label, I think it's important that we also remember she doesn't have to. There's been so many celebrities harmed over speculation about their identity.
Doubt either, because we were really trying to build this up slowly and reveal it in a way that would be, just change people's opinions, basically. Yeah. We do find out that the character is Lebanese, and Lebanese, yeah.
Just look at some of the outrageous questions that Lady Gaga had to respond to in her early years for some reason.
There was that rumor that you had a male appendage, that you were a hermaphrodite, and you joked about it on the stage last night.
Maybe I do.
But it's interesting.
Would it be so terrible?
Queen response, by the way. I love that woman. So, dear friends, I turn it over to you. Was this queer baiting for clicks? Or was Katy just, on a clumsy journey of self-discovery in which mistakes will be made? Was this just a product of the label?
If I had to write that song again, I probably would make an edit on it. Lyrically, it, has a couple of stereotypes in it. Your mind changes so much in 10 years, and you grow so much. What's true for you can evolve.
But if you couple that with a young girl who was raised in an extremely strict religious home, and you get a perfect storm of complexities that are deserving more of just one demanding outright statement and never looking back.
You hate your parents so much, you miss them.
And if we take it further, if I Kissed a Girl was crafted for straight men but inspired young queer individuals to come out, then what? Because we don't want to erase their experience either, right?
So I Kissed a Girl came out, that was 2008. I was in high school. I remember when it came on the radio, my mom was like, what is it? It's kind of blasphemous. And I was like, yeah, it is. And listening to it in private on repeat. But for me, it was the first time in high school that anyone talked about kissing girls. It was
talking about bisexuality.
Yeah.
I think that so that is what this is, I was just writing about my own experience.
Yeah.
I would say is that, to this day, the best thing that if I did nothing else is that, we had people coming up to me all the time saying, that they were in Alabama when they were in, 6th grade, and when that made them feel better.
Just please know at the end of the day, for any of you who are on an identity journey or any type of journey, just know that you are beautiful, valid, and matter regardless of who you love. I want you to feel free to be yourself and find joy. You are worthy of love and safety and respect like everyone else. Okay, let's move on.
He designed this shirt at the last camp fireworks, and now we sell it here on the Lifetime store, and all the proceeds go to Camp Fireworks, so check it out.
Something that always fascinates me about celebrities battling controversies is when charity work enters the picture. Now, charity is a necessary thing for humanity, and there are celebs who are genuinely trying to help, in my opinion, like Lady Gaga, Selena Gomez, Tabitha Brown come to mind, but there's often another goal for some. The super rich often use charity to enhance their public image during a crisis or kind of as a preemptive measure against future controversies, you know, like celebrities donating to organizations like the NAACP because they have racist posts in their past that they're trying to hide from. Now, on one hand, celebrities who announce their giving to the public will always be scrutinized by, you know, random keyboard warriors who have probably never donated to anything in their lives and just want something to bitch about. And if a celebrity is donating because they're trying to repair their relationship, on one hand, okay, so be it. You know, we need wealthy people donating, right? But on the other hand, if celebrity charity work is solely for PR, does it harm their credibility more than if they just did nothing? You know, where is the line drawn and who gets to draw the line? So as we move through this story, I'm gonna do something I haven't seen done. I'm gonna give a timeline to when the Katy Perry brand engaged with a philanthropic effort and if it corresponded with controversies. Now, it may not be direct proof of anything, but you know, it's an interesting correlation. So Katy has involved herself extensively with charity work. Her 2010 hit song Firework was dedicated to the It Gets Better campaign, which is great. As far back as 2009, in the wake of the Kissed a Girl controversy, Katy performed at the Life Ball, a fundraising event for HIV/AIDS, and I wonder if she performed You're So Gay and the whole scarf thing while she was there. Her 2011 California Dreams Tour donated a portion of ticket sales and merch to charities like Children's Health Fund and the Humane Society, and they raised over $175,000. She also received the Trevor Award for LGBTQ advocacy, which is a big deal. We love the Trevor Project. Along with her track record of charity is also a track record of cultural appropriation. I know, shocking. A white pop star leveraging a minority culture for maximum profit and acting stunned when people take issue with it.
I see you.
Now, we've already rolled some of her 2013 American Music Awards performance that was styled after Japanese traditions, and there were think places galore. We do need to point out, like, Americans often view cultural appropriation differently than some other countries, this instance being Japan. While many hated it here, many Japanese loved it and felt that it highlighted some of the beautiful traditions of the culture, which are just stunning. The Japanese culture is just so beautiful. And even though there was a swift backlash, about a year later, there was the hairstyle situation where she literally white girl rapped with her hair in cornrows while eating watermelon for her music video, This Is How We Do. Oh, I wish I was joking. Listen, y'all, sometimes I'm too exhausted to have these conversations, and today is one of those days, honey. I need some damn peace, okay? I have done enough pieces around Black women, our natural hair, all of that. I'm tired. Y'all, if you're curious, go look up an old Swoop doc or go read a book or something. So on the heels of the geisha backlash, Katy releases this song with, you know, the cornrows that also had lines like, quote, "Now we're talking astrology, getting our nails done all," and I'm gonna imply the word because I don't want to say it myself, but she says Japanese, but then she adds a Y to it to give like a E sound to it. Okay, that's the best I'm gonna do here. This had white dudes, I guess, acting like, I don't know, Japanese nail salons. Fuck if I know. This was followed by her cornrowed gangsta shout out to Aretha Franklin. What the on? Listen, friends, okay. With this stuff, I feel like Katy doesn't give one singular shit. I kissed a girl, this, gay scarf, that, cultural, this, cornrow, that, sprinkle in some Kesha with a side of ain't no big deal, it's innocent, and make it a bop. She literally says this after the Japanese line, quote, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. This is no big deal. I mean, who's to argue with the white lady from Santa Barbara? It's no big deal. Really, honestly, like when someone tells you who they are, believe them, right? Or maybe the better way of saying that is when an audience tells you what they want to make famous, believe them and keep doing it. It works both ways, right? So back to celebrities using charity to manufacture positive press. That music video came out in 2014. Katy has been peppered with cultural appropriation allegations for years, but it wasn't until years later when Katy Perry finally kind of sort of addressed it. In my opinion, this wasn't really authentic, it was marketing, and here's why. On June 10th, 2017, Katy Perry sat down for an interview with none other than American civil rights activist and award-winning host of Pod Save the People, DeRay McKesson, because, you know, nothing cushions your brand's need to address racism allegations like getting the endorsement of a civil rights activist. Oh, we literally just saw this play out with a big celebrity several months ago. Cute. Won an award and everything. First, Katy addressed Black women's hair.
I've made several mistakes, even in like the This Is How We Do video about how I wore my hair, and having a hard conversation with one of my empowered angels, Cleo, about what does it mean? Why can't I wear my hair that way? Or what is the history behind wearing the hair that way?
Now, aside from the fact that she references her Black friend as an empowered angel, which plays into the magical Negro trope that Black people have to be of some higher celestial power in order to be listened to and save the innocent privileged lady from herself, Katy chose to sit down with a Black man to discuss her harm of Black women. Here's a quote that sums it up. This whole DeRay Katy Perry thing is so poetic because a Black man is giving a white woman a platform, and who's left out? Let me check my notes. Yeah, Black women. Black women were left out. Shocking, I know, never happens.
She told me about the power in Black women's hair and how beautiful it is and the struggle. And I listened and I heard and I didn't know.
But aside from that, did you see it? Look again. Look over to the right. You see it now? Look over to the side. You see it now? That's an image of Katy Perry's new album cover for Witness, which came out just one day before this interview. One day. One day. Because this interview actually happened during a publicity stunt where Katy Perry's team decided it was a good idea to continuously live stream her for 3 straight days. I can think of nothing I'd like to watch less. And look at the sofa. You see that image printed on the damn couch? That's an eyeball. What the eyeball doing on the couch? Because there's an eyeball in her mouth on the cover of the album. And did you know that her album A Witness was the first album where Katy Perry attempted to shift her lyrical content to position herself as, oh wait for it, a civil rights activist, featuring a song with Bob Marley's son Skip Marley nonetheless. I couldn't make that up if I tried, y'all. And this all came a mere 1 month after she related her Black hair to Barack Obama for reasons unknown.
Oh, someone says I miss your old Black hair. Oh, really? Do you miss Barack Obama as well? Okay, times change. Bye. See you guys later.
I hate it here.
Okay.
You love Katy Perry.
I did up until this album run. Okay, Katy came to the iHeart building in New York and didn't come near the hip hop and R&B station, even though she got the Migos and Nicki Minaj on the record. Okay, Katy's full of caca.
But don't worry, friends, because she put DeRay on the board of her foundation.
Your interview with Katy Perry stoked a lot of criticism for being a publicity stunt. Why are you sighing?
Okay, what about Katy?
Y'all, I need a nap.
Katy is my friend. I'm on the board of Katy's foundation, the Firework Foundation. And we run a summer camp, and Katy and I are both camp counselors.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I was so bored with how predictable this move was. Needless to say, the album flopped. I guess times change. Okay, bye.
I should leave now. You're cut off. You're cut off.
Now, the thing about Katy Hudson is she proudly says she's a control freak and knows exactly what she wants as Katy Perry, you know, blurring the line between the person and the brand, something that winds up being a big problem for a lot of celebrities. It's hard to switch things off.
Your hair is a little down. Yours needs to be fixed and yours needs to be fixed. There's a little extra like hair. Can we fix that sock? It's bulky. It's like they're hiding something. Oh, that's not cute.
I'm a control freak.
Are you, Sammy, have you been touching your nose?
Yeah.
No.
Sorry.
Bye.
You can wear the red one for the next one?
No.
It's gonna come off.
I don't care. You have
It's not
30
that much
minutes to
left.
fix it.
Oh my god.
Project Runway, go. I'm such a bitch.
What I've noticed with the Katy Perry brand, especially in the past, is that she would put on kind of a puppy doll or a baby talk voice when confronted with problematic actions, like kind of like this sweet little girl. Like,
well, we're in a church, so it very much feels like home right now. I went to church on Sunday morning, Sunday evening, and Wednesday night.
It's very weird. Once I discovered this, it's very weird, but also very strategic. Like, oh dear, please, excuse me, I didn't know any better.
It's like a scar. Sometimes you look on your legs or your arms and you see this scar, and it reminds you of the thing that you learned or what not to do again.
I think it's by design, probably by the label, maybe by her, I don't know. She plays the role shockingly well.
You're So Gay about a metrosexual ex became an instant hit with everyone, except gays.
The song is about a boy that probably was gay in another lifetime, but now is straight and I'm dating him. And he doesn't even like boys, but I think he was gay at one point in my lifetime.
But it wasn't an indictment against gay people or homosexuality.
Not at all.
Do you see what I mean? The mousy voice, the gentle demeanor. It's disarming in a way that even has Katie Couric wanting to defend Katy before she says, but it's not an indictment against gay people, right?
And he doesn't even like boys, but I think he was gay at one point in my lifetime.
But it wasn't an indictment against gay people or homosexuality.
Not at all.
When you look at it for what it is, it's genius. I'm sorry, I gotta say it. I gotta give credit where it's due. It's kind of genius. She's proudly assertive when she wants to be.
With pinup girl looks and a salacious sense of humor.
Do you guys like my cherries? Oh my God! What will my mother say next?
Do you think there are people who don't take you seriously enough yet?
I mean, come on, I've got a whipped cream bra. And I mean, it's not like I'm like, you know, Carole King here.
But often plays up the doe-eyed innocent girl when she's catching heat like a 1950s housewife who needs protecting.
I went to church on Sunday morning, Sunday evening, and Wednesday night.
It's actually kind of fascinating to me. Like when I see these interviews, I think, this isn't the real Katy Hudson. This is a role she's playing, like, right? Like, who crafted it? Was it Katy? Was it her label? Was it Mr. Nurse?
You tweet a lot.
Yeah, I twerk a lot too, but that's a whole nother story.
And this is where branding loses authenticity, right? Because they haven't separated the person from the brand the way some artists, you know, I think of like Chappell Roan talks about it's the project and then this is me. Separation. That's not what was happening here. I think Katy Perry wants you to believe that this is the real Katy Hudson.
I thought it would have been strange if I had completely avoided it, but I wanted to be very delicate and respectful about it, and hopefully, you know, people see that problem and they see me having that problem and they're like, oh, well, even she can't dodge life's curveballs.
And once you see it, you can't unsee it. I'm sorry if I ruin it for you. It probably only applies to the old stuff, but it's there, especially when she's tiptoeing through controversies.
Even in, you know, my intention to like appreciate Japanese culture, I did it wrong with a performance. And I didn't know that I did it wrong until I heard people saying I did it wrong. And sometimes that's what it takes, is it takes someone to say, out of compassion, out of love, hey, this is where the origin is, you know, and do you understand? And not just like a clap back, you know?
Yeah. Okay, first of all, child, why is your hand on his knees? Second, we've got the baby voice again. And third, not only is Katy's message, you know, placing the burden of education about topics like microaggressions and the appropriation, placing it on the marginalized communities instead of those who benefit from it, but she also projects this idea that if a harmed community speaks out, I guess we're only allowed to express our frustrations if we do it gently, you know, with kid gloves and a warm smile so that she feels comfortable.
Hey, this is where the origin is, you know, and do you understand? And not just like a clap back, you know, because it's hard to hear those clap backs sometimes, and your ego just wants to turn from them.
I'm pretty sure that's why her hand was on his knee. More comfortable that way. But not to worry, because in December of 2013, she was appointed as a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, where she saves East African children. I honestly, at this point, I'll take it, because hardly anyone seems to care about communities in Africa unless it's for the sake of colonization or posturing. So you know, you gotta choose your battles. But there was one controversy that Katy couldn't hide from. Her first feud with none other than the Queen, Miss Taylor Swift. Once upon a time, Katy shared a stage with Taylor on her 2009 Fearless tour, and not an ounce of rhythm or dancing ability was detected anywhere in the room that night with peace and love. Taylor would not disagree, okay? Don't come for me. Ironically, hot and cold is probably the most accurate descriptor for the Taylor-Katy relationship over the years. It all started on Twitter, quote, watching the Waking Up in Vegas video. I love Katy Perry. I think I'm gonna hang her poster on my wall. Of course, this is strategic marketing. They do these things, which then escalated to this, quote, you're as sweet as pie. Let's write a song together about the subject we know best for my new record. It'll be brilliant. Could this be a start of a new girl boss collab era? Quote, love you. You deserve all the awards in the world. Vote for Tay Tay. P.S. Your Mother's Day video made me cry. You're an angel. So how did we go from this tweet storm love fest to this red carpet shade?
Who do you get excited to see? Because you don't have to perform tonight.
I'm excited about Gaga. I'm excited about Drake. I'm excited about who else is performing. Those are the ones that I saw that I was really stoked about. And
Katy Perry's performing.
My friends are all here, so I get to just hang out with my friends. It's fun.
4 years after her first I love you Katy Perry tweet, Katy Perry was now off limits in conversation.
Selena's here. We always turn it into a fun evening.
Now listen, y'all, trust me, I know there's enough lore here for a 10-part series, and there are a million creators breaking it down for you. You can check out. That is not our focus today, so we're just gonna cover some of the basics and then we're gonna move on, okay? So it looks like Katy Perry went from Taylor's, bestie to dating Taylor's ex?
John Mayer and Katy Perry.
They are right here on the couch this morning in just a little bit. What did you do on your first date?
We just went to dinner like a regular couple.
Yep, went to dinner.
Wow, and
we share music as a love together, that's like a common interest.
Yep.
So.
They're not just dating, they're collabing. Taylor Swift and John Mayer dated from 2009 to 2010, and Katy's relationship with him, it was in 2012, and I think what makes this especially sus is the large age gap in Taylor's relationship with John. They started dating when she was 19 and he was 32. Legal? Sure, but long term, the relationship obviously had a significant emotional impact on Taylor to the point of where she wrote music about it, including one song literally called Dear John. Quote, Dear John, I see it all now that you're gone. Don't you think I was too young to be messed with? The girl in the dress cried the whole way home. I should have known. Now, Taylor's never explicitly stated that this song was about John Mayer, to my knowledge, but on. Next.
Stay inside the house. Aren't I a good boy, America? I'm not dating anybody. I'm a single person. I'm a catch. Would you?
Things went from bad to worse between Katy and Taylor. The year was 2013. As we know, Katy was busy gearing up to piss off marginalized communities. And during Taylor Swift's iconic Red Tour, Katy snatched some of Taylor's backup dancers from her show, offering them a spot in her upcoming Prismatic Tour, which is very f***ing weird, because as I personally know, I've done tours with my own dancers, there are literally thousands of talented dancers available to book. Why would you do this? Taylor accused Katy of poaching her dancers and attempting to sabotage her tour, which would piss off anybody. And then Taylor releases the song Bad Blood on her 1989 album, where she casts a trove of mega celebrities like Selena Gomez and Gigi Hadid in the music video, garnering 1.6 billion views. Oh, did I mention Kendrick Lamar is a featured guest? Yeah. Katy Perry got the Drake treatment. Say, Drake, I heard you like to steal dancers and play dumb. Oh, Taylor also cast Kesha for the music video, and we love that for her. Taylor essentially confirmed that the song was a diss track towards Katy in an interview with Rolling Stone. Quote, "She did something so horrible. I was like, oh, we're just straight up enemies. And it wasn't even about a guy. It had to do with business. She basically tried to sabotage an entire arena tour. She tried to hire a bunch of people out from under me, and I'm surprisingly non-confrontational. You would not believe how much I hate conflict, so now I have to avoid her. It's awkward and I don't like it." Now, according to Taylor, "For years I was never sure if we were friends or not. She would come to me at awards shows and say something and walk away, and I would think, are we friends, or did she just give me the harshest insult of my life? Don't you just, oh, I know people like that. Don't you just hate that? The nice nasty, the nasty nice. It's just, they're just full of like backhanded and you're just like, are you just insulting me to my face, but you like put it in a cream puff and so I'm supposed to think it tastes good? Like, we all know people like that. But the thing is, this was great marketing for Taylor. The public loves beef. They don't care if it's fake or if it's 100% grass-fed, pasture-raised, organic, all-natural cow, and labels played this up. It's not about challenging another artist to musically outperform so much as it is about tearing each other down, and the more often than not, tearing another woman down.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
Kind of like Gaga versus Madonna, Selena versus Hailey, Miley versus Nicki.
Back to this bitch that had a lot to say about me the other day in the press. Miley, what's good? Hey.
Now, the day after Taylor's Rolling Stone interview was released, Katy posted a cryptic tweet warning her followers to, quote, "watch out for the Regina George in sheep's clothing." I think, I'm not even gonna, yeah. And for a long while, Taylor and Katy sniped at one another with subtweets, like when Nicki Minaj tweeted about the 2015 MTV Video Music Awards nominations, quote, "If I were a different kind of artist, Anaconda would be nominated for Best Choreo and Video of the Year as well." She continued, "If your video celebrates women with very slim bodies, you will be nominated for Video of the Year." Honestly, T. Just in general, T, not directed at anybody. But Taylor, whose song Look What She Made Me Do was nominated for Video of the Year, took it as an indirect call out and said, quote, "Nicki Minaj, I've done nothing but love and support you. It's unlike you to pit women against each other." Well, that didn't age well. That's not shade at Taylor. I just have you seen the internet lately? But she said maybe one of the men took your slot. Now, Nicki and Taylor quickly resolved this, but Katy Perry saw an opportunity. Quote, "Finding it ironic to parade the pit women against other women argument about as one unmeasurably capitalizes on the takedown of a woman." First of all, that's a way to write a phrase. Pit the argument about as one unmeasurably capitalizes on the takedown of a woman. Speak on it, Alexander Hamilton. But let's be real. In all fairness, okay, don't come for me for what we do here. Okay, we talk point and counterpoint, okay? Don't come for me. Katy has a point in that moment. Even if she was, writing it like it was 1776. Taylor Swift has an extensive track record, and it has been documented, allegedly, making strategic business decisions to kind of sort of push other women out of the market when it's in direct competition, allegedly, or rather, her team does, okay? It's a business thing, okay? Cutthroat industry, it's cutthroat. And she did make a massive diss track, stacking up as many women as possible with literal weapons in hand, battling other women. So that was the thing that she did. I kind of understand, what Katy's trying to say here, but counterpoint, one could say Katy was trying to push Taylor out of the industry by allegedly sabotaging her tour, right? And to add more fuel to this fire, in 2017, Katy Perry released her album Witness. You remember her civil rights album where her empowered angel friend opened her eyes to black people things.
I've made several mistakes, even in the This Is How We Do video about how I wore my hair.
On her new album, Katy released a song called Swish Swish, which was, you guessed it, her own diss track about Taylor Swift. Literally featuring Nicki Minaj, okay, allegedly. So I guess Katy was also trying to unmeasurably take down a woman whilst accusing Taylor of doing the same.
Sometimes that's what it takes, is it takes someone to say, out of compassion, out of love, hey, this is where the origin is, you know?
You know, actually, the more I think about that interview, the more I start to think it wasn't just a marketing ploy, but maybe a message to Taylor Swift or others telling them that in order to criticize her, they need to do so softly so that she'll listen and feel comfortable.
Not just like a clap back, you know? And I've been so grateful to have great teachers and great friends that will really hold me accountable, even when I said that I wasn't a feminist because I didn't know what that word meant.
Katy doesn't like a clap back unless she's doing the clapping. That's her brand, and clap she did, literally. Katy appeared on The Late Show with James Corden, where they not only sang and clapped to her Swish Swish diss track, but she said this about Taylor Swift.
No, for sure, and that's true.
When are we gonna clear that beef up?
There's a situation. Honestly, it's really like she started it, and it's time for her to finish it.
Did she start it?
There was like 3 backing dancers that went on tour with her tour, right?
Yeah.
And they asked me before they went on tour,
yeah,
if they could go, and I was like, yeah, of course. I'm not on a record cycle and get the work, and she's great and all
absolutely.
that. But I will be on a record cycle probably in about a year. So be sure to put a 30-day contingency in your contract.
Right.
So you can get out if you want to join me when I say I'm going back on.
Sure.
So that year came up, and they said, okay, well, we're gonna go and talk to management about it. They did, and they got fired. And I tried to talk to her about it, and she wouldn't speak to me.
Oh, you tried to talk to her about it? You did the phone call?
I do the right thing.
So you did the phone call, and it was a
feels like
shutdown.
a fumble. It was a full shutdown, and then she writes a song about me, and I'm like, okay, cool. That's how you want to deal with it? Karma.
Listen, I'm not trying to take any sides here. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened, but I have to say, it is wild how Katy Perry manages to blame Taylor, threaten karma on her, release a diss track featuring another woman who kind of had beef with Taylor for a moment, and then talk about women empowerment.
I think personally that women together, not divided, and like none of this petty.
Say it, sister.
Women together
say it.
will heal the world.
Say it. She said it. She said it.
It's fucking fascinating. Like, literally, send an email, people. It's a lot cheaper. But also, they made a lot of money on this beef, so, you know, keep it on the grill. In the most black ops move ever, unironically, after spending 3 years off of Spotify in protest, Taylor Swift decided to put her music back on Spotify for the first time the exact same day as Katy Perry's release of her album Witness. At the exact same time, at like midnight, pulling a ton of press and attention away from Katy's release. Quote, in celebration of 1989, selling over 10 million albums worldwide and the RIAA's 100 million song certification announcement, Taylor wants to thank her fans by making her entire back catalog available to all streaming services tonight at midnight. Oh, that is diabolical. Welcome to show business, baby. It's the life of a showgirl. The thing is, this was a perfect for the Katy Perry brand that marked a very noticeable decline in her popularity. Taylor's star kept burning brighter while, yes, you know, Katy flew on a giant the more you know star during the Super Bowl, but now Katy was also being called the thing every pop star dreads hearing. Cringe. I have no idea what the is watch, but I'm kind of living, bitch. Okay, the chaos, the unmitigated gall and cum who had the audacity. Now, to many, Katy was in the middle of a brand identity crisis once again.
I cut my hair is because I really want to be my authentic self, like 100%.
Nice.
And so it hurts, you know, when I don't feel like I can.
Miley Cyrus' brother Trace Cyrus even accused Katy of stealing Miley's brand. I don't know why he opens his mouth sometimes.
I first knew Katy Perry though, and her team were lame as fuck, and her career was first dying. And they were like, what can we do? What worked for Miley? She cut her hair off and it broke the internet. She bleached it blonde. We should do that with you, Katy. Katy's like, yeah, we should. Should we do it like slightly different? No, we're gonna do it exactly the same.
Trace also accused Katy's team of essentially copying the vibe of Miley's J's on My Feet for Katy Perry's Bon Appetit, as if J's on My Feet was it. I'm not even gonna go there.
Remember J's on My Feet? You know, she started to transition doing more hip hop stuff. We're gonna get you in with the hottest group, the Migos. You're gonna do exactly what the fuck Miley did and blow up. All right, guys. I'm done after this. But I was just meditating, and I was thinking about J's on my feet, and I was like, what rhymes with J's on my feet? Bon appetit.
The way this man acts like Miley Cyrus invented hip hop will never not be very fucking funny to me. Kind of like when Ariana Grande transformed from black to Asian and black to white again. Whoosh! Everyone's catching strays today because I am tired and I don't care anymore, okay? I don't even have problems with these artists. Go listen to their music, they're great, they're all very talented. Okay, I'm tired. But on a more serious note, Katy did seem lost as an artist, maybe even as a person.
I so badly want to be Katherine Hudson that I don't even want to look like Katy Perry anymore sometimes.
It's hard not to feel for Katy during this interview, right? Again, point counterpoint, and we take in the human aspect of this. Maybe she needed a friend, so she reached out to Taylor Swift.
Well, we have been on really good terms for a while. Like, she sent this beautiful note and an olive branch to the opening night of the Reputation Stadium tour a while ago. From then on, we've been on good terms. When we saw each other, it was just very clear to both of us that everything was different, that we had grown up, that we had grown past allowing ourselves to sort of be pitted against each other. And
which is how Katy Perry ended up in Taylor Swift's music video for You Need to Calm Down, dressed as a hamburger? Like I said, y'all, maybe this could have been an email, but then we wouldn't have burgers and fries coming together in peace and harmony. And what a sad world that would be. I want to switch gears for a quick sidebar for a second. We do this always in a Swoop talk. While, we're in this conversation about talking about pitting women against women in ways that often don't just happen to men, it's about something I find just honestly gross and disgusting and try to speak on whenever possible because not enough people do, in my opinion. And I hope that you will join me in spreading this message out there. I think it's really important. It's about the just disgusting, brutal shaming of women for, wait for it, getting older. That shit has to stop. As female celebrities, and honestly, like any woman who exists gets older, the public feeds into this bullshit narrative that older women become irrelevant in society in a way that doesn't really happen to older men. And this shame often comes from other women. Like, that's why I'm not interested in playing, an endless stream of clips of Katy Perry's recent performances where everyone just wants to her dancing as if every recording artist maintains the same physical intensity the older they get. What if she has health problems? What if her body is in agony from performing brutally exhausting shows for the past 2 decades? Do people not know that dancing forever and in heels is a bitch to the body? Like, do people not know that Beyonce had knee surgery or that Gaga has to perform in flats now because of fibromyalgia and hip injuries? Okay, I promise you don't have to shame her because she's not wearing heels. And I'm just like, why is this something that people are shaming women for? Like, what gets me is literally 99% of people hiding behind keyboards to troll a recording artist's performance haven't been on stage a day in their life and could never do a fraction of what someone like Katy or other women have done and continue to do. Like the last headlining tour I did before injuries, I had 75 shows and maybe it was like 10 days off. I don't know, it was like less than 10 days. It was brutal. I had 3 serious chest infections that I had to sing through, 2 hospital visits, which is very common for artists, by the way, they just don't tell you. I got bruises all over me. I had a foot injury that took 6 months to heal and I was in crutches after, a knee injury, additional spinal trauma. Like, it is no joke. So to the trolls, let me know the next time you sing on key upside down with your ribs being squeezed to hell by a harness. And yes, I am speaking from experience. For some reason, we keep insisting on comparing female artists in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s to female artists in their teens and 20s, as if being 20 is the only allowable benchmark for a woman in the arts. Like, can we just let women age and get their flowers?
When I don't fit into my cupcake bra anymore, I will still fit behind my guitar.
Our society has built up this whole men age like fine wine and get called daddy, while women get attacked as they get older, most often by other women as the most ridiculous, pick-me which is weird.
Are you the daddy of the internet? What's internet daddy?
Me.
Women are labeled irrelevant, which is just another word for useless. Gee, a woman who's no longer considered youthful and pretty and entertaining for our pleasure is simply useless to society. I wonder what system that continues to uphold. Look at Madonna, who is criticized for trying to stay looking young and relevant, quote unquote, but also mocked for not dressing and acting her age, whatever the hell that is supposed to mean. If she's not, you know, a hot, young, hyper-sexualized pop star, she's a tired old grandma and useless. There's no in between. It's abusive, full stop. I know I'm preaching to the choir because y'all feel the same way, but I just want to get this message out there. Managing to stay alive as a woman in this society at any age where we have to choose the bear is a massive accomplishment, and we all deserve a round of applause. The very act of staying alive past the age of 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 in this world as a woman should be celebrated with the most love and admiration and grace. I couldn't imagine belittling my mother, my grandmother, my teachers, my mentors for having the audacity to still be here. How fucked up and inhumane is that? And I don't know, maybe it's because of my immense struggles in the past with suicidal ideations, or the fact that I am a survivor, or that I live with chronic illness, or that I've been coping with being a hospice caregiver, but life is too precious and too short to make someone afraid of getting older. That's stupid. I hate seeing people diminish a valuable woman's hopes, dreams, accomplishments, or ability to inspire simply because she's older than some random number that some man chose. What a waste of time. Honestly, when I see people shame a woman for daring to stay alive in this world, I am so tempted. I have to fight myself, but I get so tempted to want to think, may every day you live be worse than the last for perpetuating that horrific stigma of fear and guilt on a woman for fucking staying alive. It is a plague to society. So the next time you see someone shame a woman for her age, I don't care what her age is, shaming a woman for her age or for being older or whatever it is, next time you see that, ask them, are you on the side of empowering women through all stages of life? Or are you on the side of men like Andrew Tate, who seek to destroy women past the age of 22. I dare all of you to look past the brainwashing that society has done regarding women and age and fully embrace the actual reality that society doesn't want you to understand, that women are allowed to age like everyone else, that we can be wiser and more compassionate and powerful with every passing year, and that women deserve a safe place filled with love, learning, and grace for still managing to be here. If someone like Katy Perry does harmful things, then sure, analyze it. But I will never understand why some people find it so easy to shame a woman for daring to get older. That's abusive, and it guarantees that that shame will be used against you, all of us, one day. Who's next? Beyonce? Well, it's already happening. Lady Gaga? Already happening. Taylor Swift? She's next. Viola Davis? Keke Palmer? Lana Del Rey? And not on my watch, and I hope you feel encouraged to spread this message as well.
Stop. Stop, 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 stop. Stop.
Okay, sidebar over. Let's continue.
Katy Perry said she was going to close it. It was going to be her home.
That's Sister Catherine Rose explaining why she wanted to block the sale of her former convent to pop star Katy Perry. Rose collapsed and died in court today during a hearing involving the ongoing battle to prevent Perry from taking over the property.
Did you ever hear about the time that Katy allegedly killed a nun? Sort of. Okay, stay with me. This beautiful property in the Los Feliz neighborhood of Los Angeles, built in the 1920s and owned by a Hollywood costume designer until it was gifted to a Catholic convent, the Sisters of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, in the 1970s. By 2011, only 5 nuns lived in the mini castle, and the Archdiocese of Los Angeles was looking to sell in order to pay off a massive lawsuit against the church for SA of minors. Charming. Don't have time to get into it.
How I feel is sad and betrayed, and to think that at our age now that we have to be fighting to keep our own property from being stolen.
Which is when Katy Perry set her eyes on the property. She offered cash, and the Archbishop was ready to accept Katy's offer of $14.5 million in this economy. But he didn't ask the Nuns. When they heard about the sale and looked into who Katy Perry is, well...
Yeah, I mean, I released a gospel record when I was 15.
They weren't too impressed.
That's how I got introduced to the music industry. I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music. Yeah. But it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil.
The sisters didn't love that, as one of the nuns mentioned in an interview with Billboard, quote, "Even mentioning that she would sell her soul to Satan is against our principles and beliefs. In selling to Katy Perry, we believe we are being forced to violate our canonical vows to the Catholic Church." But Katy, to be fair, had the blessing of the Archdiocese, so what does she do? Well, according to Sister Rita Callanan, one of the nuns involved, she met with the nuns, showed them her Jesus tattoo, pulled up some lyrics on her phone, and sang "Oh, Happy Day" for them, followed by a round of polite applause. What in the holy grain audacity? Listen, I hope she brought the gospel choir for the nuns. That would have been, oof, just such a nice touch. Now, I don't know what's more confusing, Katy invoking religion in this moment or thinking that a rendition of "Oh Happy Day" was worth $15 million. Perhaps she thought they'd become her first holy fans. I'm sorry, I couldn't, okay? It was right there. It was right there, Lord forgive me, I had to do it.
It's like, remember, you came from this, and you can always go back to it.
I just know Sister Callahan was side-eyeing her lawyer with a Pentecostal glare. Shockingly, Katy's performance still did not change their minds. The convent had actually been vacant for 4 years, and the nuns, in an unauthorized action, sold the property to another developer, Dana Hollister, who had agreed to keep the property open to the public, although I have to note, Hollister wanted to turn it into a boutique hotel, so...
You have stolen the property of the Sisters of the Immaculate Heart. Please, Archbishop, do what is right in your heart.
It was a Sam Smith level unholy mess. Quote, LA Archbishop Jose Gomez argues the nuns therefore had no right to make the deal and claims to have papers signed by 3 of the 5 sisters giving him the power to sell the property on their behalf. So they took it to court.
We own the property which was stolen. And I'm sorry, but I just can't sit back and let that happen.
It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
Now, Katy Perry, with the backing of the Archdiocese, sued the sisters and the courts agreed.
Not only did Dana Hollister lose her bid for the property, a judge slapped her with millions of dollars in punitive damages for interfering with the sale.
The nuns had lost, and so had Dana Hollister, who was bankrupt from this lawsuit, by the way. Maybe this could have been an email.
We're trying to get out to the public and tell them, look, what is being done to Dana Hollister is absolutely wrong. The judge was wrong. The poor jury, didn't they even admit? They didn't know what was going on. They admitted it afterward. Because they didn't get both sides of the story.
Everything was looking good for Katy until tragedy struck during a bankruptcy hearing for Hollister.
Now to a tragic turn on the oncoming feud between pop star Katy Perry and a group of nuns trying to stop the singer from moving into their former convent.
One of the sisters suddenly collapsed and died during a court hearing today.
Yes, tragically, Sister Catherine Rose passed away inside the courtroom. She was 89 years old and literally died fighting against Katy Perry.
89-year-old Catherine Rose Holzman spoke to us just hours earlier in what we now know was her final interview.
We asked her to save us to buy the property. She had nothing to do with forcing herself on us.
Some of Sister Catherine Rose's very last words were to Katy Perry. In a courthouse interview I was able to dig up.
And to Katy Perry to please stop. It's not doing anyone any good except hurting a lot of people.
To Katy Perry, please stop. It's hurting a lot of people. After Sister Catherine Rose's sudden passing, Sister Rita Callahan accused Katy of having blood on her hands, which honestly is understandable for them to feel that way. And I'm not gonna go so far as to say that Katy is to blame outright, and I think there are major plot holes when it comes to the Archdiocese and the nuns, but it happened nonetheless, and Katy Perry walked away with millions. And after all that, did Katy Perry move in? No. Her option to buy the house expired because she failed to find a new property to replace the public house of prayer. So all for nothing. Aside from the obvious implications of a pop star who grew up in a strict religious household, battling it out with nuns in court, or resulting in one of them dying, this entire real estate debacle gives us more glimpses potentially into the mind of Katy Hudson and the potential pattern around the Perry brand. Business first, no matter what. And again, I'm carving out some separation between the brand and the human for, the simple fact that she has been treated as a product in a very dark industry since the age of like 15. That will absolutely affect a young person's brain development. And just like we've seen in JoJo Siwa, who's been a product since the age of 2, we have to acknowledge that.
But after 3 years of writing and recording, Katy Perry was signed and dropped by 2 major record labels.
I had someone say to me that you should probably go home because you're never gonna get signed again. You're pretty much damaged goods and you should be in the defect aisle at Ross. And I'm 20 at that point. I'm like, I'm defected goods already?
The death of Sister Holzman shifted public sympathies away from Katy Perry. People even started trolling her at concerts by wearing nun outfits. There were headlines that implied that she caused Sister Holzman's death. So what did she do? How does she rehab her image? Well, if you're wealthy, it's as easy as flexing your charity. So I spent far too much time scrolling on her IG to see that 13 days after the sister's death, Katy posted a photo of herself victoriously saving more African children, except according to the caption, this photo is from 5 years earlier. So, whoops. 9 days later, she posted a photo of the Jesus tattoo she showed the nuns. And a few weeks after that, she posted a photo of herself holding the hand of the literal Pope. So I guess all is well. Be blessed, my child. And perhaps taking a page from the celebrity playbook, the Perry brand decided it was time to launch a charity foundation of her own.
We often say about young people in organizing that young people have the experiences before they have the language.
The timeline here is a little bit fuzzy, but around the end of her legal battle with the nuns, Katy launched the Firework Foundation alongside her sister, who gets paid around $100,000 to run it. So its goal is to help underserved communities like the elderly. Oh wait, sorry. Let me check my notes. Oh wait, no, not at all. It's for kids. So, good for the kids, good for the publicity. Quote, the Firework Foundation mission is to empower children from underserved communities by igniting their inner light through the arts. Now, I say the timing is fuzzy because I looked up the financials for the foundation and it appears that it was created in 2011, but according to People magazine, she officially launched it shortly after she won the court case.
I remember going to the Chateau Marmont and meeting friends that were more affluent and well off. And I remember parking my car in a neighborhood because I wasn't going to pay the $20 parking. And then I remember getting there and having a fantastic time, but I only had water and a side salad.
The foundation hosts Camp Firework, where campers can take classes on songwriting, design, choreography, and more. Katy isn't just a sponsor of the group. She's on the ground and putting in the work, which to her credit is great to see. And I actually believe that she wants to help kids, which is a net positive. But, it's tempting to think that the timing of this is sus. It is, is it charity or is it image preservation, or is it possible that both things can be true? Wouldn't you know, Katy Perry suing a convent of elderly nuns wasn't her only property battle. Katy is in a current battle over a beautiful 8-bedroom home in Montecito owned by a disabled 85-year-old elderly veteran battling a terminal disease. He is the owner of 1-800-Flowers, Carl Westcott. Now, you might already know where this is going. At the time of me filming right now, the trial is literally underway and the judge already blasted Katy Perry on day one. We'll get into it. So Carl was having back problems when he bought the house in early 2020. A few months later, he had back surgery, and in those first few days, according to him, loaded up on painkillers and disoriented, he was presented with a contract to sell his house to none other than Katy Perry and her now ex-fiance Orlando Bloom. They offered him $15 million, $4 million more than what he was asking, along with a letter explaining that the couple was expecting a baby and this is where they wanted to raise their child. His reply? He said yes. Contract. And then days later, changed his mind. Listen, y'all, this is a whole ass mess. It's very polarizing. I've got a lot to cover, so I'm not gonna deep dive into the court records, but here's a gist. Carl got a letter from Katy Perry's lawyers basically saying he'd better honor the deal or else they'd sue. Carl also suffers from Huntington's disease, a progressive neurodegenerative condition that can affect your thinking, your memory, and your mood. Doctors testified to how much he had declined, and he now currently lives in a full-time memory care facility, but that didn't win over the judge, who decided that Carl was of sound mind when he signed the papers for sale at the time, since he had been texting and fielding different offers and setting up tours, resulting in a win for Katy Perry. Katy took possession of the home in May 2024, and then it escalated. Katy countersued Carl for $6 million in lost rental value and damages, and is now renting the house to actor Kris Pratt, a move that Carl's son slammed as, quote, entitled celebrity behavior. Quote, "It's how the Hollywood elite system works. I've seen this up close. They treat ordinary people like dirt. It's been a difficult time for the family." Now, to be fair, I should point out that Carl Westcott once sold a company for an estimated $422 million, has an estimated net worth between $13 to $34 million, and his daughter-in-law, Cameron Westcott, who married into the wealth of the family and was a star on Real Housewives of Dallas. So I don't exactly think they count as ordinary people, okay? Just ask John Legend. Like, they live in a mansion, own horses, and their kids play polo.
The fact that she thinks she should be entitled to all these things when normal people, don't even have those privileges, I think it's crazy.
I think we have different definitions of normal people and privilege, but I do understand the sentiment. Suing an 85-year-old disabled man is a terrible look, no matter how you want to position it.
It's never ending. It's exhausting. I'm like, who has the time to be doing this, fighting over that? Like, I honestly, I never imagined in a million years would be in this position, especially with Katy Perry. Like, she has so many more things she should be doing with her life.
Another quote from his son. "She has no sense of fair play, no empathy, zero empathy, quite the opposite. The worse the condition my father is in, the harsher they've been in trial. It's unfortunate to see the way her lawyers have conducted themselves, bottom of the barrel in terms of ethics."
My father-in-law, who's on his deathbed, who is like a vegetable, okay? I'm sorry. He can't even hold an iPhone. He can barely talk. He has minimal communication. He has absolutely no idea what's going on half the time. He can't even eat by himself. We have to have a nurse 24 hours to feed him. He can't even get out of bed. He could die any day.
Now, I want to be clear on something because I can't ignore this. Putting the lawsuit aside, and I do feel for the family in many ways. I don't know what's gonna happen with the law, we'll see. But the Westcott family have repeatedly posted photos of their father in a hospital or hospice type bed, looking incredibly sick, frail, and rather incapacitated. I'm not gonna show these photos. I hate the idea of posting photos of an elderly disabled man who, by their own words, is battling advanced Huntington's disease and was incapable of maybe consenting to the contract 5 years ago, let alone able to consent to the posting of these photos to millions of people by directly giving them over to the press for a nasty lawsuit. Now, I completely understand why they think this would help their case. I don't think it's done maliciously, and it very likely does help as far as the court of public opinion goes, but it's still, I have to be honest in how I feel in these situations. Calling Carl such terrible words like vegetable, I hate that word. I could literally see incontinence pads under him, so it's hard to see the dignity in posting that, nor speaking about him in the past tense when he's still alive.
Unfortunately, my husband and my brother-in-law inherited this lawsuit. We didn't sign up for this. We inherited this, and we will do nothing but, protect my father-in-law, and we will fight for the family in his honor to protect what he wanted.
Maybe Carl would be totally fine with it and the family knows best, so, what do I know? Take this with a pinch. Maybe it's because, of my own current processing of just the pain as a hospice caregiver, and I'm very sensitive right now, or maybe the disabled human being would prefer for his last bit of time, his most vulnerable moments to not be given to the press. On that note, another thing I hate is elder abuse. According to the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, quote, financial elder abuse is when an older adult or a senior is financially exploited by a stranger or someone they know. This can involve forging a senior's signature or deceiving a senior into signing any legal and or financial document, especially when the senior seems unable to comprehend and significant transfers of assets, substantial loans, or gifts to others. To some people, this is elder abuse, and I can definitely see that, but to others, this is a business deal gone sour, and Carl's son acknowledged that it was a mistake. Quote, if an old man apologizes and says he's made a mistake about the house sale and she's a rich pop star who can buy any other house in the world, you'd think she would let the old man go on his way. And, me on the compassionate side is very inclined to feel that way, the way the family does, right? This sucks. The whole situation sucks. Katy Perry is set to testify on August 26th, but for now, on day one of the trial, she was already completely scolded by the judge, so not going well, Katy Cat. Quote, Katy Perry got off to a rocky start on the first day of her real estate trial, Thursday, after the judge blasted her lawyers for trying to ambush his courtroom with a surprise video appearance by the pop superstar. It's outrageous, it's not nice, it's unfair, fumed LA Superior Court Judge Joseph Lipner on day one of the bitter damages trial, and I'm kind of here for that judge's energy. Now, firstly, Katy Perry's lawyers, I guess, asked that she only be addressed as Katy Hudson, clearly an attempt to have the press kind of fly under the radar, not attached to Katy Perry. And then Carl Westcott's attorney told the judge that Katy's attorneys only informed them the day before that she was able to testify the next day. Yeah, she tried to only give them less than 24 hours notice of when she would be available to testify, giving them no time to prepare, which is entitled and nasty as and the judge agreed. Quote, accusing Perry's legal squad of unfair tactics that he said reflect badly on them and Miss Hudson. So how did Katy Perry, Katy Hudson's publicist handle this? Well, it just so happened that on the first day of the trial, TMZ posted pictures of Katy Perry, quote, California girls rocking little bikinis. Coincidence? You already know the answer. And while things didn't end up working out in Carl's favor, Katy's real estate reign of terror inspired a whole-ass law proposal called the Perry Act, which stands for Protecting Elder Realty for Retirement Years. Quote, the Katy Perry Act addresses the risks of elder financial abuse, especially as it relates to property and real estate sales and transfers. The act establishes a 72-hour cool-down period during which either party involved in a contract for conveyance of a personal residence in which one party is over the age of 75 can rescind the agreement without penalty. Now, I think that's a fantastic idea, but aside from a change.org petition, it never passed any legislative bodies. I feel like the law has a long way to go when it comes to protecting our senior citizens who are at their most vulnerable stage in life, because what the are we doing as a society if we keep treating our elders like garbage? Seriously, a little compassion goes a long way, because at the end of the day, at the end of life, that's all that matters. I don't want to get too in the weeds on Katy Perry's behavior on American Idol, but Katy has a long history dating back to 2010.
No, I'm so sorry. We used to be friends. You were like, cool. We're having a girl power, girl.
From threatening to steal one of the contestants away from his girlfriend.
You're so hot. Yes, ma'am. Don't call me ma'am. I'm sorry. I respect you so much. Don't respect me. If we're not going to Hollywood, maybe you can just come hang out with me. Are you engaged? No. Cool.
Even criticizing a contestant's outfit.
Every time you take the stage, it's like you glitter bomb the stage.
It's like those baby reveal cannons just go.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I think that one thing I personally would like to see from you is not one one piece of glitter the next time.
It's glitter bomb, Katy. I respectfully submit to the court of public opinion, Your Honor, that this was you at Madison Square Garden in 2017. She's also got a history of being harsh on contestants, although to be fair, like I think that's why a lot of people tune into these shows. Like they want to see contestants dragged, and Simon literally skyrocketed his career doing that, but you know, it still sucks for people.
But it's just ice. Not a whole lot of flavor.
Now, some harsh critiques from Katy drew fan backlash.
And you're wasting everybody's time. We said to you early on in this competition that you could be top 10. And you know who's sabotaging it? You. You were being defeated the whole time. And you're putting her dreams on the line. And that's really selfish. You took this whole ship down.
Listen, okay. Point, counterpoint. Maybe Katy is projecting the brutal criticisms that she has faced onto these singers, or maybe she knows what it takes to survive the industry and is trying to toughen their skin. Like,
as fun and frosting as that sounded, I felt dead inside. Ouch. We're not here to tell you what you want to hear, right? We're here to find the next American Idol.
some of Katy's behavior is worthy of more serious criticisms, like mom shaming a young contestant. Now, y'all, I gotta tell you, okay, they're doing something. Something is in the air with the PR machine around the Katy Perry brand, because when I tested out to see if I would be able to play some of these clips, they all came back with copyrights and I was forbidden to use the clips. So I'm gonna have to kind of talk my way through this. Literally, you have Sarah Beth here, ready, like so excited to meet Katy Perry and the judges and to sing. And she tells them how old she is. I think she says about 24. The judges are all freaking out. No, you're not possibly 24. You're like 16, because they think, you know, she looks very young. And she's like, oh my gosh, I love y'all. And then Sarah Beth says she has 3 kids. And Katy immediately like shoots up out of her chair and she's like, you know, being very dramatic, like, oh my gosh, you're 24 and you have kids, and like, and just like leans against the table. And then Sarah Beth says, oh my gosh, you know, like if Katy Perry like lays down on the table, I'm gonna freak out. You know, she's just being kind of like fangirling moment here. And Katy Perry responds to her by saying, honey, you've been laying on the table too much, right in front of everybody. And they're all like laughing and giggling. This poor woman was so excited to be on the show. So to be met with immediate, basically slut shaming, insulting your decision to have children is pretty awful. And from Katy Perry, who is supposedly all about empowering women and is also a mother herself.
Women together will heal the world.
Say it! She said it.
Sarah Beth, who is a lovely singer, made a TikTok after leaving the show addressing how she really felt about Katy's comments.
I mentioned that I had 3 children and was a young mother, and Katy Perry made a joke that, I mean, it was embarrassing to have that on TV and it was hurtful. That's that. But I did want to take this opportunity to just say that I think that women supporting and uplifting other women is so cool. And I think that mom shaming is super lame.
I hope Sarah is enjoying some peace now. Realistically, listen, most people point out, you know, the questionable clips and won't acknowledge the other side of the perspective in that for many years, Katy Perry was on the show. Most of her interactions with guests were completely fine. Like, I don't love when clips are just, you know, pulled and put back to back to back and made to look like that's how someone behaved all of the time. It's not reality. Like, I watched a ton of compilations and Katy Perry is actually very talented at, you know, off-script comedy and all, you know, things that have made her a powerhouse entertainer that she is. But sometimes lines were crossed. Heads up for discussions around SA. There won't be anything graphic, but it will become a theme for a few segments now. So here was another annoying instance where I tested the copyrights for these clips and they have just been pulled. It literally cannot use these. Like, I'm able to use other stuff, but not these very controversial moments of Katy Perry. So basically Benjamin is standing there in front of the judges getting ready to sing for them. And Katy Perry's asked, have you ever kissed a girl? And he says no, that he's been waiting for it to be special. And so they create this big old scene about, no, come over here and give Katy Perry a kiss, like on the cheek. And she like leans in like this and he gives her a little kiss right on the cheek. But it's just like, you know, like a silent, like he presses his mouth to her cheek. And then she's like, oh no, but you didn't even make the like smushy sound. And so she leans in for him to go back and try it again. And instead of allowing him to connect with her cheek, she literally very quickly turns and connects on his mouth when he's not expecting it at all. Kind of goes like backwards and is just completely shocked, and the judges are literally like taking selfies as this is happening, and they make this whole to-do about how now suddenly you've kissed a girl and it's Katy Perry, you're so lucky, oh my gosh, you're so lucky. How uncomfortable, humiliating, and potentially violating to have a mega pop star trick you into a kiss on national TV. You've seen this trope time and time again, younger guy getting seduced by glamorous older woman, and apparently we're supposed to celebrate it as a rite of passage for a lucky guy, but I can't possibly hate this more. I hate everything about this, and I hate that these grown-ass judges who have been in this industry for decades, who know how predatory the casting couch is, would think that this is funny. Like, they violated his boundaries, demoralized him for views, and then they on him and shoved him out the door. But you know, at least he scored with Katy. Y'all, I'm like getting so heated, I feel like I'm choking. I have to take this off. Okay, there. Whew, I can breathe. So, what the judges did not only perpetuates the dangerous idea that young men should be grateful if they get taken advantage of, which increases the likelihood of abuse and the reluctance to report it.
Have you heard about all these teachers having sex with their students? Is this not crazy? What is going on?
Well, I don't think the male students have been hurt by it. In fact, they're going around bragging about it, as I understand it. So, you know, I don't see a lot of damage done.
Fair enough.
But it's a very unusual situation. I would say her husband cannot be happy.
Oh, you are bad. If she still has a husband.
According to a report in the National Institute of Health by John C. Thomas and Jonathan Koppel, quote, approximately 90 to 95% of all male S violations are not reported. According to current estimates, over 27% of men and over 32% of women have been sexually victimized at some time in their lives. Even if she had asked to kiss him and he had said yes, people would accuse him of being a star. If he had said no, there would have been rumors about his orientation. Who turns her down? And who should have known that? Katy Hudson, aka Katy Perry, both the person and the brand. According to the National Institute of Health, quote, men are more likely to encounter reporting issues related to their identity given that they are more likely to be victims of other men. Men who have not publicly acknowledged that they are anything other than hetero may choose to not report for fear of having to come out. In addition, hetero men who were assaulted by other men might not come forward for fear of having their orientation revealed. Now, Benjamin later told the New York Times what he really thought about the kiss. Quote, I was a tad bit uncomfortable. Would I have done it if she said, would you kiss me? No, I would have said no. I know a lot of guys would be like, heck yeah, but for me, I was raised in a conservative family and I was uncomfortable immediately. I wanted my first kiss to be special. Now, people were quick to call Katy Perry out, though I wish they had the same energy for the men literally taking selfies of the kiss and whatever the Lionel was doing. Quote, if Katy Perry was a man and that American Idol kiss happened to a woman, it would be S harassment, right? If we want people to listen to legit claims of harassment by women, we need to end the double standards. Quote, imagine if a 33-year-old male artist tricked a 19-year-old female auditioner into a kiss like Katy Perry just did with that teenage guy. Would we all think it was cute? Now, unfortunately, I do have to point out, while yes, the double standard argument is valid, in reality, older men pull this all the time on women in the industry. So it is happening and people also don't yell about it. The official Twitter account for American Idol even tweeted this after the episode aired, quote, this journey has just begun, Benjamin. A kiss for good luck from Katy Perry and you're on your way. And Katy responded with a kiss emoji and a gif of Minnie Mouse pulling in Mickey and kissing him. This only stirred up more controversy, so Benjamin felt pressured to speak out. His New York Times interview was published in March of 2018, and less than a week later, he posted this now deleted statement to Instagram. Quote, I was uncomfortable in a sense of how I have never been kissed before and was not expecting it. My main goal is to reach people through the universal love of music and not cause strife or anger against any situation. Oh, and did I mention this all happened 5 days after Sister Catherine Rose, the nun, passed away? Makes her last words about Katy Perry feel even more unsettling, remember?
And to Katy Perry to please stop. It's not doing anyone any good except hurting a lot of people.
Please stop. You're hurting people. Now, I wish I could wrap up this segment about Benjamin with good news. 6 years after the episode aired, Benjamin Glaze was in the news once again. Quote, on 10/18/24, an arrest warrant was issued for Benjamin Isaac DeWitt Glaze for aggravated possession of child SA material. During the search, a smartphone was recovered that was found to contain over 700 images and videos of child harm material. Deplorable. And it just gets worse.
teenage dream boy. You're so lucky you did that with Katy. I am very lucky. I'm blessed. But I'm not her boy. She made that very clear. I'm her prostitute.
8 years after releasing Teenage Dream, Katy Perry was confronted with a new SA accusation after model Josh Kloss dropped this bombshell video in 2019. Josh starred alongside Katy as her on-screen love interest for the 2011 Teenage Dream music video, which featured a lot of skin contact between them. But that's just acting, right? Except Offset, Katy allegedly didn't keep things so professional. So some context, this was hot off the heels of her breakup from her husband, Russell Brand.
Don't upset the Grammys.
Don't upset him.
Yeah, because I want to win one.
Oh yeah, I think you should have a Grammy. A Grammy. I think it's called the Grammys because that's how much coke you need to cope with it.
Stop it! Behave!
Always keeping it classy. He asked Katy for a divorce over text, by the way. Can't stand that guy. Anyways, Katy's alleged behavior extended off camera, as Josh described it in his now deleted IG post. Quote, "When I saw her, we hugged and she was still my crush, but as I turned to introduce my friend, she pulled my Adidas sweats and underwear out as far as she could to show a couple of her guy friends and the crowd around us my privates. Can you imagine how pathetic and embarrassed I felt?" Now, not only is that allegation horrifying, but this is the second time that Katy has allegedly chosen to humiliate a young man in public. In the immediate aftermath, Kloss said that Katy's reps allegedly intimidated him into silence.
If you guys want to flip the card over and have me be a pop singer who grabs Katy by the bra and exposes her breasts or her to others, I said, look at that. You want her to just, tell me immediately, or wait a while and then tell me when she gets enough courage and she stops trying to protect my awesome image because she's a good person, she cares? You figure that one out in your head. But I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Your hate.
He was berated in the comments, and one of the witnesses, the birthday boy in question, John, came to Katy's defense saying, quote, "We all know about your ongoing obsession with her since the day of filming that video. You were writing her music and planning an imaginary future with her. It's not okay to do this to people who have done nothing but uplift and inspire others. Focus on your life and your daughter and move on, Josh. I'll be praying for you. We all will." Now, none of us were there, obviously, but if there is truth to these allegations, even if Josh was enamored by Katy Perry, that still doesn't make exposing his privates okay. Power abuse is still abuse, no matter what.
The Me Too movement is a witch hunt, right? Me Too is dismantling due process, or Me Too has created a gender war. The media has been consistent with headline after headline that frames this movement in ways that make it difficult to move our work forward.
You're looking at Tarana Burke, the actual founder of the Me Too movement, not the white celebrities who are credited with it. She's often watched her movement be co-opted and distorted by powerful white voices, erasing the very foundation of the movement that includes Black trauma survivors. But I pull this clip to underscore her intent that men are supposed to be included in the victim conversations too.
One, it's not a woman's movement, and I should say that clearly. Women largely, obviously, are the people who bear the brunt of the violence, all kinds of violence. But the movement to end sexual violence is not a woman's movement. And I think that, one, when you say that, and I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions, right? That's one of the things that media gets wrong, people get wrong, but it leaves out large swaths of people. It leaves out men, obviously. Men's first role in this movement is as survivors. Because we spend so much time trying to recreate these divides, right? It's if men would just stop abusing women, if men would just stop being violators, all of this would end. That's a lie. All of us suffer under patriarchy. I think it's 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 women will experience violence in their life. The other number is 1 in 6 boys and men. We forget that number. So men's first role is as survivors in this movement. The other thing is everybody's not a man and everybody's not a woman.
Right.
So it can't be a woman's movement. Right? It can't be. The future's not female, the future is free.
If you thought this was the end of it, just 3 days after Josh Kloss's allegations, another person spoke up, and this time it was another woman. A reporter from the Eastern European country of Georgia claimed that while attending an industry party, a heavily intoxicated Katy Perry was trying to kiss and touch her, even when she asked Katy to stop. And Katy's response, quote, "I think we live in a world where anyone can say anything. I don't want to say guilty until proven innocent, but there's no checks and balances. A headline just flies, right? And there's no investigation of what it is. I don't want to add to the noise. I don't want to add to the truth, basically. I don't comment on all things that are said about me, because if I choose that dragon, it would be about true and falsing my whole life. It's distracting from the real movement." Now, I'm pretty sure that's the only word we'll ever get from Katy, but it only gets worse from here.
With 21 #1 singles to his credit, he is 37-year-old producer and songwriter Lukasz Gottwald, the man everyone calls Dr. Luke, the most successful and sought-after hitmaker in pop music today.
Katy Perry's producer, who, again, Mr. Nurse, we'll refer to him as the producer, to keep his legal team happy. He's one of the music industry's most prolific names behind the scenes. He's been involved in the careers of some of the biggest pop divas, including like Kelly Clarkson, Avril Lavigne, Kim Petras, Doja Cat, Kesha, and of course, Katy Perry. Their first hit together, I Kissed a Girl and Hot and Cold. Together, they went on to produce hit after hit, California Girls, Teenage Dream, E.T., Last Friday Night, The One That Got Away. That's 5 #1 singles, all from Katy Perry's Teenage Dream album. For Katy, Mr. Producer was a hitmaker, so the collabs kept going into Katy Perry's Prism era with Roar and Dark Horse. There's enough backstory on the relationship between Mr. Producer Man and his clients for a whole other Swoop doc, so we won't dive into everything, but I will underscore some of the claims. And of course, we have to preface this section by saying these are allegations and not statements of fact.
His sense of melody is just, it's like a gift from God. It's bizarre. Everything that comes out of his mouth is incredible and is so catchy and hooky.
The year was 2005. Mr. Producer was looking for new emerging artists, and he signed Kesha when she was 18. In 2010, they released Kesha's debut album, Animal, with hits like TikTok and Right Round, which were also produced in collaboration with Benny Blanco. Fun fact.
I want hand claps here.
Another album, Warrior, followed up 2 years later, further cementing their success. So it was a shock when in 2014, Kesha sued Mr. Producer for allegedly essaying her. All the way back in 2005, shortly after being signed, Kesha was invited to a birthday party for Nikki Hilton, as in, Paris Hilton's sister, at a home in the Hollywood Hills, where Kesha claims Mr. Producer gave her illicit substances, which he referred to as sober pills, and took her back to his hotel room. The next thing she remembers is waking up without clothes and disoriented in the producer's hotel room before calling her mother to share that she was allegedly violated while unconscious. With this lawsuit, Kesha was fighting to be released from Mr. Producer Man's label, Kemosabe Records. She was stuck in a 6-album contract that prevented her from recording any music independently from him, which is why the industry is such a snake pit. The Hollywood Reporter detailed Kesha's allegations over the years, and they are shocking. Now, I won't give graphic details, but in one incident, she claims Mr. Producer, quote, backed her into a corner, shaking his fists and screaming at her. Kesha, according to the 2014 lawsuit, bolted out of the studio and ran barefoot down Pacific Coast Highway crying. She climbed up nearby mountains and hid so he wouldn't be able to find her. There was also a call to her mom in 2008 where Kesha claimed Mr. Producer just called me and I have 24 hours to fire my lawyer and my managers and go back with him. Anytime I get a contract, he's going to come forward and basically say he owns me. What do I do? Kesha alleges she was belittled, threatened, and intimidated into staying quiet, revealing that she even tried to unalive herself during her time working with him. And allegedly, Mr. Producer would constantly compare Kesha to Katy Perry. Quote, Katy Perry is so much better than you. You're not a good writer. This is why I can't shake the feeling that there's a very real possibility that Katy Perry has at some point in her career also been harmed by someone, whether him or someone else. According to Kesha's mother, Katy and Kesha were once close friends, 2 young, talented pop artists, both being quote-unquote mentored by one of the biggest hit makers in the business, which is where the lawsuit gets messy. Again, we're not deep diving, just a baseline. According to the court documents, Kesha sent a message to Lady Gaga in 2016 that accused Mr. Producer of essaying Katy Perry. Lady Gaga had already heard a rumor from elsewhere about it, and I do have to note, I don't love this part of the story. I understand it. I do. But if you believe someone has been SA'd by someone, outing them and their story is also very unfair and a dangerous thing to do. And of course, Mr. Producer responded via his attorney, quote, in her deposition, Perry adamantly denied the rumor. Did Mr. Producer ever R-word you? An attorney asked. No, Perry replied. Did he ever sexually assault you? Absolutely not. Did he ever give you a roofie? No. Did you have an sexual relationship with him at all? No. A romantic relationship? No. And then he countersued Kesha for defamation, claiming that her allegations were false and an attempt to ruin her career. Quote, I didn't R-word Kesha and I have never had with her. Kesha and I were friends for many years and she was like my little sister. But when a judge tragically denied Kesha's request to be released from her contract with Kemosabe Records, the fans rallied as they should. He later dismissed most of her claims for insufficient evidence and because of the statute of limitations, which statute of limitations. This was the birth of the Free Kesha hashtag in 2016. At the time, Katy distanced herself from Mr. Producer, but she didn't come out in support of Kesha either. And again, to be fair, this is an extremely delicate situation, and I don't think Kesha meant any harm. But when she did potentially out another woman's potential survivor story without her consent, if Kesha's claims about Mr. Producer harming Katy are not true, that sucks for Katy. If they are true, and Katy Perry didn't want that shared, that also sucks for Katy, as she has a right to keep that private. As she mentioned in her deposition, Katy's decision to stop working with Mr. Producer wasn't out of moral objection, but fear of career repercussions. Quote, that I would be attacked. I would be the one woman that is against women, and I'm not against women, but I believe in innocent until proven guilty, and I believe in justice. While, yes, it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, most SA cases get dismissed because the system is broken, so relying on a broken system to prove guilt or innocence is a problem. Now, there were plenty of other pop stars who formally collaborated with Mr. Producer and had no issue publicly denouncing him, like Kelly Clarkson, who refused to accept a co-writing credit with Mr. Producer on My Life Would Suck Without You, meaning she lost out on potential millions in songwriting royalties, which is a badass move.
I just didn't want to, and especially at that time, I was so frustrated that I was forced to work, like, basically they were gonna sit on my record unless I did what they wanted. And I was so frustrated because I literally said, anyone in the world but this one person, just because I had not a good experience with him.
Sure.
And it was a one thing, and they just wouldn't even give it to me.
Or Pink, who last collaborated with Mr. Producer on her hit Who Knew in 2006, who said this, quote, I don't know what happened, but I know that regardless of whether or not Dr. Luke did that, this is his karma and he earned it because he's not a good person. I have told him that to his face and I do not work with him. He doesn't do good business. He's not a kind person. He doesn't do the right thing when given ample opportunities to do so, and I don't really feel bad for him. And Taylor Swift stepped in and made a $250,000 donation to Kesha as a show of support to help with any legal expenses, which we love to see that. And then there are artists like Doja Cat.
Bitches, bitches, bitches.
Mr. Producer Man worked with her on her breakout hit Say So, but because she didn't want to be publicly associated with him, she decided to use a brand new producer instead. Meet Tyson Tracks, the newest adult film star on the scene? No, that would be Mr. Producer Man's new pseudonym. One of many, actually. He literally just changed his name across many artists, which is a unhinged way to get around the Kesha allegations.
Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. Go moo.
But it's a slippery slope to selectively choose, which artists to admonish for who they work with, right? Doja Cat has been associated with his label since 2013, and I don't think it would be fair to ask any artist to throw away a decade of a label relationship for a producer she allegedly doesn't often work with. Quote, I haven't worked with him in a very long time. A lot of those songs were. There's he's credited for where I'm like, I don't know that you did anything on that.
I do want to ask you about one collaborator in particular. I know a lot of people have expressed disappointment and were really upset that you decided to involve Dr. Luke on this album. why did you choose to work with him?
After all the controversy, Katy Perry's latest album, called 143, was released in September 2024, including her single, Woman's World, which credits, you guessed it, Mr. Producer Man, his actual name, not a fake one. So the question, could a manufactured pop song that's sonically drab with the most unimaginative lyrics about women empowerment be enough to resurrect Katy's declining record sales and cast a new light on a man accused of disempowering women? Short answer, oh, this was a bad move. Bad Kitty, bad Kitty.
And I believe in everything she does. I think her album is fantastic. I think we have massive hits on it.
Okay.
And you know what? We came out the gate a little shaky. I think there was some backlash for her reuniting with Dr. Luke, which was my desire and my recommendation for her to go back in the studio with Luke.
Okay.
Because Luke is a dear friend. All the stuff he was accused of is actually not true. And the press just didn't react favorably. And they basically tried to assassinate him and her.
Girl boss, you can do it. You go, girl. You were born to shine.
Here are some lyrics. Quote, sexy, confident, so intelligent. She is heaven sent, so soft, so strong. Groundbreaking.
Florals for spring. Groundbreaking.
Now, listen, every artist has songs with boring lyrics. Who cares? But holy shit, the comeback record is a song about women empowerment, co-written and produced by a man with these allegations. Literally, why? Like, there are like 10,000 music producers just like in a 1 mile radius in Los Angeles. Just like throw an empty bottle and you'll probably hit one auto-tuning a terrible pop vocal.
Threw it at him and it hit him right in the head. And he just turned around and it was kind of like,
what?
Your mouth.
The music video for Woman's World doesn't do much to improve things, although it does feature Trisha Paytas pulling a tractor on a rope, which is honestly the best part. Katy is dressed up as the male gaze version of Rosie the Riveter, a white cultural icon representing the women who worked in factories while the men fought in World War II. Katy took that, but made it sexy with tons of bikinis, boob shots, hot and steamy power drills, and lots of baby oil. I feel empowered, baby! I also don't care anymore, okay? Long live art or whatever. This whole video seems like a cross between an American man's wet dream and a Halloween costume contest. It actually reminds me of Betty Bonassi's Satisfaction. I think the most bizarre thing about this video is when she's tossing around a bunch of products like a back massager and gummy vitamins while flashing the words $1 off. Use code KatyCat143, which is clearly mocking women content creators and influencers who built their own companies, which I'm pretty is a stupid thing to do to shame women for in a song about women empowerment, but you know, get that bag, girl. Aside from my opinion that this video is just predictable and boring, I will say my favorite part is the choreography where Katy is surrounded by a bunch of dancers wielding pink vibe toys like a cabaret. FYI, Bellesa, today's sponsor, way better than that vibe, okay? Don't forget to get your toys, linked below. Enjoy yourself. And then, this happened.
And we're kind of just having fun, being a bit sarcastic with it. It's very slapstick, very on the nose. And with this set, it's like, ooh, we're not about the male gaze, but we really are about the male gaze. And we're really overplaying it and on the nose because I'm about to get smashed, which is like a reset for me and a reset for my idea of feminine divine. And it's a whole different world we go to after this.
Listen, okay. I have watched this video way more times than I ever wanted to, and never did I get that anvil dropping was supposed to be a reset. It literally just looked like a cheesy transition where she goes from wearing one bikini to wearing a different bikini. Anyways, quote, maybe the greatest form of irony is releasing a song about female empowerment with a man like Mr. Producer behind it. He's not just the producer either, he's also a background vocalist, so you quite literally hear him, of all people, on a song about women running the world. Katy sat down with Alex Cooper on the Call Her Daddy podcast, where she was also questioned about her current work with Mr. Producer.
I understand that it started a lot of conversations, and he was one of many collaborators that I collaborated with. But the reality is it comes from me. The truth is, I wrote these songs from my experience of my whole life going through this metamorphosis. And he was one of the people to help facilitate all that, one of the writers, one of the producers. When I speak about Woman's World, I speak about feeling so empowered now as a mother, as a woman, giving birth, creating life, creating another set of organs, a brain, a heart. I created a whole ass heart and I did it and I'm still doing it and I'm still a matriarch and feeling really grounded in that. That's where I'm speaking from.
Yeah. I have absolutely no idea what being a mother has to do with collaborating with a man who allegedly harmed your former friend, some of which happened while she was dancing in your own music video. But hey, she created a whole ass heart. Katy honestly isn't a here that, yes, was avoidable, but also she does have the right to work with whoever she wants, whether people like it or not. That's part of the whole freedom of expression without censorship thing that we're supposed to like be holding on to, especially these days when it comes to the court of public opinion. And the other reality is, while, you know, I would have gone a different route, there is some selective outrage around Katy, but not other artists. You know, like I know people will say she said she wasn't ever SA'd by him, so she's terrible. Maybe. I don't know that she was never. I wasn't there. I just don't think a woman of her status has gotten through this industry without terrible things happening to her. I'm not saying what Katy Perry has done is right, but I am concerned about Katy Hudson, the human. How do we draw those lines and who draws them, right? What about all the other people who have continued to work with him? What about all the men in suits that make money off of his catalog? So for some more point-counterpoint, here's an uncomfortable question for the sake of a more human discussion. That's what we do well in our community of critical thinkers, which I love about us. And this is not an easy question to ask. Remember, I said at the start, some things are going to be uncomfortable. Is it even her responsibility to stand up for other women if she doesn't want to? And yeah, see, I said that's a tough question to ask because the song is literally about women empowerment. But as painful as it is to ask, since Katy Perry is a woman, is that pressuring women to carry the load when it's men who are at the center of the alleged abuse and should be the ones to make reform in the industry? While women police women's work, men usually honestly either sit back and watch, they disengage, or they find a way to make money from it. Although, you know, really, what should one expect when Katy Hudson proudly voted for a billionaire male Republican, allegedly turned Democrat, who was running against a woman and who donated to anti-choice organizations? Quote, as much as the right tried to spin it, Katy Perry voting for Rick Caruso is not an indication of anything other than a rich white woman voting for a fake Democrat who will ultimately have no effect on the quality of her life, but will worsen the lives of many others. So what do you think, my dear critical thinkers? I'd love to hear your thoughtful discourse in the comments about this, and as always, keep it respectful and cute as you always do, but it's a lot. It's not just it's this and then it's this. There's a lot of dynamics here. Oh, and the charity PR move that Katy Perry's team timed with this latest scandal, a pledge to donate £1 of every ticket sold from her UK tour leg of the Lifetime's tour to the Music Venue Trust. As for Kesha, the lawsuit between her and Mr. Producer finally came to an end in 2023 when Kesha received a settlement, which I hope brought her some much-deserved peace and perhaps even a dash of petty when she tweeted at the news of Katy working with Mr. Producer, and I quote, LOL. Well done, Kesha. Well done.
Hi, I'm Katy Perry. Let's go to space!
Oh yeah, mama. I see your tight little ass in space. Are you trying to tell me that 6 bitches went in space this morning? Yeah!
Maybe a little polarizing, just like myself. You know, there's a lot of people that are like, she's awful, she should go. You can't win them all. I think it's actually better not to win them all because that means that you have a point of view.
Speaking of Katy's fondness for supporting billionaires, after her album 143 failed to skyrocket her back onto the charts, she decided to literally skyrocket herself into space in one of the most out-of-touch reaches for relevancy in pop culture history.
It was the most incredible experience.
Welcome to Blue Origin spaceflight, possibly the most bizarre billionaire flash dance that left mere earthly mortals cringing.
Got it? 1, 2, 3, take it up space!
this year, Katy Perry joined an all-female crew along with other accomplished storytellers for an 11-minute spaceflight on a Blue Origin spacecraft that included journalist and author Gayle King, Jeff Bezos' fiance Lauren Sanchez, Aisha Bowe, a former NASA rocket scientist, Katy Perry, of course, Amanda Nguyen, NASA research scientist and advocate for SA survivors, and Carrie Ann Flynn, a former executive turned film producer. Now, Katy publicized the mission, which occurred just days before the start of her Lifetimes tour, not to be confused with the Taylor Swift Eras tour.
Hi guys, it's 1 hour and 5 minutes till we launch. We are the Taking Up Space crew. There's 6 of us, all women. It's a historical flight to space because it's the first time that all women have been in space. I feel like my message that I'm getting is you never know the amount of love that you have inside of you until the day you launch. And I'm feeling that love. I'm sending you love. And for my kitty cats, I have a special reveal coming to you from Zero Gravity.
What was intended to be a mutually beneficial PR stunt ended in a disaster so monumental, not even the tainted blood of being a billionaire could wash over and make these sins go away. I mean, really, in this economy, it was one small step for women, one giant leap for the downfall of her career. No one, and I mean no one, likes it when uber-rich celebrities flaunt ridiculous amounts of wealth while the world is literally at war and people are dying because they can't afford basic healthcare, a roof over their heads, or the price of eggs. The online backlash for the stunt traveled at light speed.
I'm the new shepherd. I think I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna sing a little bit. I gotta sing in space.
Katy sang "What a Wonderful World."
She did?
Come on. She sang "What a Wonderful World." I see dreams. Oh, yes. Because everybody said, "Sing roar, sing fireworks," and she said, "It's not about me. I wanted to talk about the world."
Wow.
I'm not sure how launching a pop star into space is supposed to change the world besides contributing to global heating and depleting the ozone layer, so good looking out.
So is that right, that this flight produced only water and water vapor? Well, no, that's not true. It's not possible. As one atmospheric chemist explained to me, anything that combusts at a high temperature converts nitrogen that's already in the atmosphere into harmful nitrogen oxide gases that can damage the ozone layer. Water vapor itself is also a greenhouse gas, and it's not supposed to be in the upper layers of the atmosphere.
Now, remember when all these celebrities filmed themselves singing Imagine from their mansions during the pandemic?
Imagine there's no heaven.
Turn that shit off. Hey, you lowly broken earth dwellers, women can go to space, be healed. So when Katy and the crew thankfully safely landed, this tonally flat and out of key publicity stunt essentially rocketed her career to the depths of hell.
You are officially an astronaut.
Thank you so much.
How do you feel?
I feel super connected to love. So connected to love. I think this experience has shown me you never know how much love is inside of you, like how much love you have to give, and how loved you are until the day you launch.
We had these incredible shots of Daisy.
That's it? Peace and love?
Chloe, I just want to know from your perspective, that moment, what was it like?
I don't think I realized how emotional it was going to be, and I literally had chills all over my body from the second it launched until the moment I just saw it. Okay, yeah.
Well, we love being able to share this experience with you, and thank you for sharing how you feel out here.
Yes, I have no idea what I would do with myself if I didn't know the feelings of other billionaires watching billionaires send absurdly rich celebrities into space. The only comfort us land dwellers have is in Bezos face planting in the dirt, and then Katy Perry giving the dirt a kiss to make it better. Thank you for your service.
And you brought a real life Daisy up.
That's
it was
right.
important for you, not only because it's your daughter's name, but why else was that important to bring it?
Daisies are common flowers, but they grow through any condition. Flowers are, to me, God's smile, but it's also a reminder of our beautiful earth and the flowers and God's smile and the beautiful magic that is everywhere.
You know, at this point, I want whatever Katy Perry is on, okay? May this level of delusion just one day grace me and release me from chronic anxiety to where I just couldn't give one anymore.
Not very much wind out here today. A beautiful day for a launch and landing. A beautiful day to add 6 more names to the roster of astronauts that have been over the Kármán line into space.
Can you fuck being an actual astronaut and seeing these women literally buy their way into co-opting your title. Oh my gosh.
Now you are officially an astronaut.
Thank you so much.
How do you feel?
I feel super connected to love.
Listen, I tried, okay? I made it this long, I gave multiple perspectives, and I can't anymore. It's time to take it back to my earthly roots and give my petty perspective, okay? Petty University, roll the intro.
And that's how it came about. Every single woman on this couch is an explorer. And sometimes we don't think of women as explorers, but we are. We really are.
I also think it sends a strong message to young boys about what women and what girls can do.
Now, y'all know I love me some Queen, Gayle, King, honey. That R. Kelly interview will never not be used whenever I have the chance. Y'all killing me with this. I gave y'all 30 years.
Robert.
30 years of my career. But I don't agree that this sends a message to boys that does much to empower us, especially when Katy Perry makes headlines saying things like this, quote, "Space is going to finally be glam. Let me tell you something, if I could take glam up with me, I would do that. We are gonna put the ass in astronaut." Wow, mission accomplished. The only message it really sent was that if you're an insanely rich woman who's engaged to the 4th richest man in the world, you can ask Zaddy to fund an 11-minute celebrity slumber party and throw a few regular women in the group to keep it cute.
I don't think you can describe it. You look at it and you're like, we're all in this together.
I feel so seen.
Let's talk about the training. Katy, what surprised you about training?
Yes.
So many seatbelts.
So many clicks. Yeah, you have to put it in a certain way. At a certain time, the way you put your feet in the strap.
These are passengers on a commercialized space flight. To call them astronauts feels like an insult to the very real trailblazing women astronauts. That's like sitting on a connecting flight from Atlanta to New York and calling yourself a pilot. In reality, to earn the esteemed title of astronaut, scientists spend years getting degrees that qualify them to work in aeronautics, and then a minimum of 6 months full-time training for a space mission. And no, these women don't have to pilot the rocket to help society, but all of the press for Katy Perry has diverted attention from some of the actual scientific work that did take place on this flight. This was also just a month after 2 astronauts, Sunny Williams and Butch Wilmore, were rescued from the ISS after 9 months trapped inside with no way back. Those astronauts risked their lives for research and demonstrated the real sacrifice it takes to earn that title, and they returned just weeks before the Billionaires Club took flight.
This whole journey is not just about going to space. It's the training, it's the team, it's the whole thing. I couldn't recommend this experience more. This is like up there with all the, different tools that I've learned in my life, from meditation to the Hoffman process. This is up there because what you're doing is you're like really finding the love for yourself, because you got to trust in yourself on this journey. And then you're feeling the love when you come down, for sure.
It's still unclear if they paid to be part of the flight, but peak unrelatability. But, on the other hand, do they have to be relatable? The public is who made them filthy rich in the first place by buying their products. Do we want them to give it all back?
Oh yeah, Mama. I see your tight little ass in space.
They really thought it would unite humanity when all it did was underscore the massive wealth disparity amongst the uber rich, while the rest of the world is living in peril. People can't afford life-saving treatments. People are being snatched by masked ICE. Children are ripped from their families. Not to mention aligning herself with Jeff Bezos, a billionaire who built his wealth off the backs of the working class.
The group of rich women who went into space, wow, mark that under who gives a shit. These celebrities who are so disconnected from reality, I just find unbelievably annoying. I feel so connected to love. And I thought, did you sit down and think, what is the most insufferable thing I can say? You do realize that the vast majority of people just trying to get by.
Then other celebs started piling on, like Olivia Munn.
Issue isn't the right word. You're just perplexed. I just was like, what do you guys need to, and if you, by the way, if you want to go to space, why do you need to tell us about it? Yeah. And it's like, just go up there, have a good time, come on down. Also, it's so much money to go to space. Yeah. Yes. And there's a lot of people who can't even afford eggs.
Model and actress Emily Ratajkowski said that she was disgusted.
That space mission this morning, that's end time shit. Like, this is beyond parody. Saying that you care about Mother Earth and it's about Mother Earth and you're going up in a spaceship that is built and paid for by a company that's single-handedly destroying the planet. Look at the state of the world and think about how many resources went into putting these women into space. For what? For what was the marketing there? And then to try to make it like, I'm disgusted, literally.
And then Wendy's came in with some serious, very petty shade. Pop crave, Katy Perry has returned from space. Wendy's, can we send her back? Followed by, I kissed the ground and I liked it. And then in the ultimate display of petty, Kesha retweeted this photo of her drinking a Wendy's milkshake. Someone give Kesha an honorary diploma. Petty University, you are one of us, dear friend. Savage? Yes, absolutely. Is any of this like Wendy's crossing the line? People on Katy's team thought so. They quietly demanded an apology, which resulted in this, quote, we always bring a little spice to our socials, but Wendy's has a ton of respect for Katy Perry and her out of this world talent. And fair, she does have tremendous talent. I don't know why people act like she doesn't. That woman can sing her ass off. My gosh, she could the ass off to blast off, okay? She meant it when she said put the ass in astronaut, she meant to ass to the blast. Hey, I'm sorry, I've been talking a long time. But, you know, also with a counterpoint again, another person pointed out, is this the same sort of culturally accepted, you know, misogyny that has plagued Katy throughout her career? Quote, Wendy's is not adding to the conversation, they're dragging it down. And this kind of behavior contributes to a culture where women are punished for standing out, or a woman daring to do something different is a target. Again, and Katy found herself going on the defense, quote, I'm on a human journey playing the game of life with an audience of many, and sometimes I fall, but I get back up and go on and continue to play the game, and somehow through my battered and bruised adventure, I keep looking to the light, and in that light, a new level unlocks. This is the same woman who purposefully collabed with the alleged abuser of her former friend for a song about women empowerment. Some of us are playing the world's smallest violins for you, Katy. But again, you know, there are points on both sides. There are points on both sides.
Robert, stop it. Y'all quit playing. Quit playing. Robert. I didn't do this stuff.
When reporters caught up with Gayle, she was also ready to clap back.
Hey, have you been to space? Have you seen what Blue Origin does to get these machines up, get them up and get them down with the precision that they do? Yeah. So I just say, you know, I'm sorry there are haters. There's always going to be haters, but I really think in this, and that's why I'm standing here talking to you.
I think it's important to note that what the scientists and engineers are working on there, what they're doing is amazing. But what's less impressive is how freely we are platforming the world's most wealthy to have their hands in every possible sector, like Bezos, while swallowing up other industries into one giant monopoly. That's a big problem. And I think this type of thing highlights that.
So what do you think when people say, oh, it's frivolous? Number one, they call it a ride, which I find very irritating because they never say men went for a ride. What do you say to people who think that this was frivolous or just a ride? You know, I think the message that it sends is very, very powerful. And the people that say that, by the way, weren't there.
Also, period. Yeah, they have a point, and it wouldn't be fair to ignore that. Men's achievements are taken seriously while women's are diminished. The perfect example, William Shatner, who made an entire documentary about his trip to space via Blue Origin in 2021. It was framed as serious, profound, heartbreaking. Shatner wept at the sight of Earth after returning from the flight.
So filled with emotion about what just happened. It's extraordinary.
Granted, he makes a lot more sense as an advocate for space travel given his long-running role as Captain Kirk, and he didn't try to, put the ass in astronaut.
Our speed is now maximum, sir.
But no one is clocking him the way they are these women, so where does that leave it? To date, there was no charity pivot from Katy at this time that we know of, although considering her tour began a week after this flight, I'm pretty sure this was, one big tour promotion. So with the ever-growing list of controversies, Katy Perry's star has been fading. For some fair perspective to make sure we keep it balanced, I want to read something from an interview Katy did with Laura Snapes for the Irish Times. Quote, I have learned how to compartmentalize and how to be a performer. You put your personal life away for 2 hours and realize that people are paying with their time and money to come and see the jester, to escape their own stuff. Part of me does provide a Disneyland service, but that's only a part. Post-witness, that compartmentalizing instinct failed. Perry flatlined. Nothing, no opportunity, no person could inspire me to get out of bed. Like, now I just don't care about anything, and don't look forward to anything. It goes on, when Perry was in her 20s, her anxieties about inadequacy, about never really truly being invited or cool or accepted fueled her ambition. So she made an art of excess, maximalist pop, bras squirting whipped cream, carnivalesque live shows, and titillated the United States right in its pleasure centers. Her efforts eventually exhausted her. Like, what else do you have to prove after the Super Bowl? You did it. You did it. Hello, pivot. Why do you have to keep climbing Everest? What are you proving? Are you just climbing Everest until you die? Until there was one chance where you're like, I'm not going to make it? I think that's a valid question, and one that people don't always give grace for. How much greatness does an entertainer have to achieve? Why do they have to keep one-upping every single thing they do instead of letting the art just exist? Now, granted, women's world, yeah, but it's valid, and I wanted to make sure to read that.
For being the first woman in the history of pop music to have 5 #1 singles from one album. It's a special award of achievement to Katy Perry, and I'm very proud to give that to you. You rock. Congratulations. Thank you.
In more recent news, in the aftermath of all of this, Katy and her fiance Orlando Bloom have split. Katy kicked off her first leg of tour, and of course, people are trolling and calling her tour a failure despite the venues being packed each night, so who knows? I mean, you know, her Vegas residency from 21 to 23 completely flopped.
Okay, talking toilet.
I used to get so many little gifts dropped off.
I beg your finest pardon? Is Katy Perry talking to a toilet? Was this a literal shit show?
But nobody cares about me anymore, they just care about Mr. Pooh. Mr. Pooh trending on TikTok. Everybody wants to do a California girls TikTok with Mr. Pooh.
What in the ever-loving going on here?
I mean, you have to admit, he's kind of healthy looking, isn't he?
I guess that's what you get for waking up in Vegas. Her career isn't totally in the toilet, though, maybe circling the drain, to quote another one of her songs. I think she'll likely still go down as one of the greatest musicians, but I suppose also, if you allegedly essay people, go after the elderly, collab with an alleged monster, release a woman's world flop, then flex your wealth while the country burns, and ride a billionaire rocket into space, and then come down to lecture people about how we're all in this together, some people are going to have an issue. And that's what I think Katy Hudson will have to reconcile with as she hangs on to Katy Perry. Class dismissed. Child, that was a lot to unpack. I think we need a bit of a Katy palette cleanser, so excuse the tone shift, and then I will conclude with my final thoughts. So as a reminder, as always, you can still grab your pieces from the Valid Ribcage collection by tapping the link below and in the pinned comment. I've also got the Unbroken collection. Both these collections are very near and dear to my heart. I designed these pieces for anyone who just wants to wear clothing with positive messaging and reminders that yes, you are beautiful, valid, incredible, no matter what you look like, who you love, what you've lived through, or what you want to do in life. Positive clothes, they make me feel good. Like I need to see positive messaging, otherwise I just spiral, okay? So I hope you love these pieces as much as I do, and please do keep tagging me with your outfit photos. I love sharing them on my Instagram. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Blue Sky. All of that is linked below. That's where I post most often, especially on Instagram, and I'm trying to get to 150,000 followers on Instagram, okay? So I could be a real influencer, so join me over there. We have a good time, okay? I might get a little shady over there sometimes. Also, I have a second channel called Swoop 2. Over here we deep dive, over there we don't. They're skinny dips into the unhinged dark waters of the cesspool where everyone has lost the plot, okay? It's a lot of fun over there. It's more casual, the videos are shorter. So, you know, welcome to the chaos. A huge thank you to our channel members. I appreciate you all so much, and to our Patreon producers. We have been just growing the Patreon community, and I love it. You can join our Patreon community right now for exclusive access to 4 more videos per month. Yes, I am out. I've lost it, okay? I am posting 4 additional videos per month, including the exclusive Patreon-only podcast, after-school specials, and all the uncensored content that I can't post here. Love that for us. Also, don't miss out on my huge giveaway with Bellessa. Be sure to tap my link in the description because everyone who signs up wins a free rose suction toy with your order. So treat yourself, honey. You deserve it. This is one of those stories that has my critical thinking in overdrive because I find myself agreeing with several different perspectives at different points in the conversation. Painting a story like this as purely black or white just doesn't work, in my opinion. She's considered a leading advocate for LGBTQ rights, is a UNICEF ambassador, has donated large sums of money to underserved communities, and lifts up young people in the arts. She also displayed harmful judgment when it comes to consent, betrayed several women who were once her friends, potentially committed elder abuse, according to some, and questionably positioned herself as a feminist while failing to support vulnerable women in music and collaborating with their alleged abuser for profits. She's ruthless when it comes to getting what she wants, which generally is something that should be applauded, given that men get applause for being dicks every day, but she doesn't seem to think much of the ramifications of others at times. We're living in a time where obscene displays of wealth are no longer celebrated. Well, for some, I mean, it's still selective outrage. There are still plenty of billionaires who get all the praise and forgiveness in the world, and I don't know that people are ready for that conversation. While the memes are amusing and the conversation is evolving, at the end of the day, if we're being fair, beneath the headlines is often a more nuanced reality, no matter how much we love or don't care about a celebrity like Katy Perry. Celebrities are expected to walk a very fine line of being authentic and relatable, but once they're successful, they will never be relatable. And if you cross that fine line, good luck with the public. And the real irony is the masses generally prefer for their beloved celebrities to be rich and unrelatable. That's what makes them so alluring. It's a balancing act with the public that many try to play and few win. And with the public's ever-changing opinions, at this point, it will probably always be somewhat of a losing battle. Was Katy's authenticity actually ever for the communities that she claims to support? Or was this all one decades-long marketing campaign to turn Katy Hudson into Katy Perry no matter what the cost? She might be back on Earth, but I'm not sure she'll ever be down to Earth again. But time will tell. So in the meantime, stay ready, stay petty, class dismissed. Swoop!